Hey guys, welcome to Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray here with your breaking news, your live news, and we'll also go over some of the top things happening all across the country. So let me know, this is an interactive show, what you want to hear about, what you want to learn more about, and if you've got a question for one of our reporters or our meteorologists, you're going to want to leave that in the live comment section. And with that being said, let's get right over to Kathy Orr, a meteorologist for the hour. Kathy, what's it like going on outside? I heard that there may be some alerts that we should be aware of. Hey, I actually can't hear Kathy either, you guys. Let's try to figure out what's going on. Kathy, they're saying your mic may not be on. Let's double check that. In the meantime, can we get the people a live look out at some of the big things that are happening? First and foremost, let's go to Citizens Bank Park, actually. Yesterday we had the All-Star game, which was incredible. Before that, we had the Home Run Derby. It's been an incredible day just trying to reel from everything that happened for the last couple of days between the All-Star Village, between the Derby, between the game itself. Later on in the show, I want to get out to our newsroom and ask some of our best producers, our anchors who may not be on a show right now, and our executive producer too, just pick their brains and see what was the thing that they loved the most about all of this. Again, if this is your first time joining me here on Philadelphia Live, I just want to reintroduce myself to you all. I'm Judea Murray. We go over breaking news, we go over live things happening, we try to bring you out to a plethora of different topics from all across the country, and even sometimes we'll go into some headlines from across the world. You guys, can you check in with me? Are we able to hear from Kathy yet or no? All right, you guys, we are going to check in on the technical aspect here just to make sure we've got a smooth show running for you all. In the meantime, we may need to take a commercial break to work through all of this stuff. Kathy, I apologize if you can't hear me. We're going to try our best to get out to you. Okay, it looks like she can hear me. Kathy, say something so I can see if I can hear you. I still don't have you. Do you guys hear her? No? All right. I'm sorry, Kathy. We're going to take a quick commercial break and try to figure out what's going on. All right, welcome back in. We figured out what was going on. Now we're going to get you your meteorological forecast. Kathy Orr has been keeping her eye on the skies, and I heard that there are some big alerts that our audience should be aware of. Kathy?
quality. We're talking about that wildfire smoke from Ontario, Canada, really impacting the Great Lakes, New York State, and the airflow is from the northwest, and it is going to be moving into the Delaware Valley. First, let's take a look at these high temperatures for the day because they were impressive, and that wildfire smoke, that haze in the air today really kept us from achieving that 100-degree mark. I don't think anyone's going to complain about that. 98 in Philadelphia and Wilmington, even Reading and Allentown, 99 in Atlantic City, in Trenton, 97 the high. Now, temperatures still in the 90s for most of the region. We did have a downpour with a renegade storm in the Poconos. That's why temperatures there in the 70s, Allentown in the 80s. And down the shore, most locations still in the 90s. Very impressive. Dew point temperatures mainly in the 70s. That is a tropical air mass. And as we look at the overnight lows, 60s well to the north and west of the city, 70s along the I-95 corridor, even Chester County and our suburbs, and down through South Jersey. Temperatures are going to start off close to 80 degrees tomorrow morning. Let's talk about that air quality, where you see the yellow in Philadelphia, that is moderate. And then where you see the orange, South Jersey and Dover, Delaware, that is unhealthy for sensitive groups. But this is all going to go downhill as we look at the air quality forecast from that smoke moving down from Canada. You see that purple and the red? That's ranging from unhealthy to very unhealthy air quality, and that will be an alert for tomorrow. So please be aware of that. You will see a haze in the sky. It might look a little yellow or gold. That is the wildfire smoke, and it will be unmistakable. As we go through the day tomorrow, it gets hotter. You have the haze from the smoke. You have the humidity. Just not a healthy scene outside. Down the shore could have some haze as well. Temperatures in the 80s for Thursday, Friday. Saturday, the heat is going to break with storms pretty much everywhere. So on your 3-day forecast, 96 tomorrow, that makes it officially heat wave number 5 for the year. 92 Friday, that ends the heat wave. And of course, storms will bust the heat Saturday. The better the 2 weekend days is Sunday. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we are back in the 80s. Today, when you look at the 10-day trend, you can see things settle down next week. Average highs are in the upper 80s, and we will be in that zone once we get through this heat on Friday. So trying to get a little bit more continuity, right? We want things to get back to normal, whatever normal is around here.
Yeah, whatever that means. Seems like for the last couple of weeks, it's just been heat wave after heat wave. Is that our normal? Kathy, thank you so much for giving us a look at what's going on and keeping us aware so everybody can be safe. We'll try to check back in with you later before the show ends just to see if anything has changed. In the meantime, you guys, I want to keep you up to date on some of the biggest things happening all across the country. Take a look at some of our live pictures real quick. So you're taking a look at Atlantic City. It seems to be a pretty nice day, but remember Kathy was just talking about the hazy skies. You can also see them over the Ben Franklin Parkway. It looks a little better in Doylestown, but all the way to the bottom right, you're taking a live look at Fox 11 Los Angeles. Every now and again, we're able to show you a better picture, but they're actually dealing with some brush fires out in Santa Clarita. And it has been massive. They've had to have press conferences as well throughout the day just to address it. So while it looks like a beautiful blue day out there, I do want to keep you up to date that that seems to be changing as the day continues. We may be able to get you another live look at those fires as the Sky Fox for our sister station gets back on scene. In the meantime, let's get right out to one of our reporters right here in Philadelphia, keeping us all up to date with what's happening on the grounds out here. I heard that there was a partial collapse of some row homes. I believe one in particular was impacted, but it has all of their neighbors shaking. So let's get to one of our reporters, Jill. Jill, what did you see when you got out there? How is everybody feeling right now?
Yeah, we are in West Philadelphia. We're at South 61st and Spruce Streets. And here's that partial building collapse I just mentioned. And you just mentioned too, Judea. This happened just before 7 this morning. Caution tape, it remains throughout the property. You can see the whole side is really exposed. Multiple rooms are exposed as well. The middle part is the kitchen area, and from different vantage points you can see deep into that kitchen, deep into what looks like a living room as well. Bricks are on their last legs. Looks like they could fall any moment. You see also on the ground a bunch of bricks. and some windows. So this is really a total loss for this property along South 61st and Spruce Streets here in West Philadelphia. There's also 2 notices on the front door from the Spruce Street side. There's a notice of demolition and dangerous structure. Now, I reached out to the city's Department of Licenses and Inspections. They confirmed that the property was vacant at the time, and residents have vocalized that as well. They haven't seen someone come in or out of this property in quite some time. And the department also says no one was injured. So some good news there, and good thing in the morning, you know, people are heading to work. Good thing nobody was walking along this sidewalk and got caught in this. We're not hearing of any cause at this time. Now, talking about L&I, they also said the following to us, quote, "In the interest of public safety, the property has been placed out for an emergency curbside demolition bid. The site will remain secured while emergency demolition activities are coordinated and carried out." And this puts West Philly back in the news on Saturday. As you know, microbursts hit our region. One of those areas was right here in West Philly. One guy we spoke with, he worries that maybe did the microbursts days later cause this. That's not confirmed at this time as well. He says he wants to check his structure. You know, he lives right across from this. They're all built around the same time. So that's a concern as well. We also spoke with another person who this morning was less than a block away outside, walked past the property, and then heard what she said was a loud boom. You'll hear from her today as well. Some pretty powerful sound there, but thankfully this could have been a lot worse. No injuries, no one was inside at the time as well. So very unfortunate situation. Now this is also a row home, and we did see some people still in the row home today that's connected. She didn't want to speak with us, understandably so, but people are still connected to this home that partially collapsed, Judea.
And I mean, I understand when you have a structure so close, like literally attached. I can understand why the person right next door, maybe even next door to them, may be concerned about the integrity of their structure and just trying to make sure that they're okay. But again, I just want to go over the facts here. You said that there are a couple of different rumors of maybe how this collapse ended up happening, but so far nothing from officials or any contractors, right?
Right, correct. Nothing confirmed. You have people just guessing. They're saying maybe the microburst, not confirmed.
Okay. All right, thank you. Tell the people just when they'll be able to
You're
hear
welcome.
from you next for an update on your report.
Yeah, we'll be again at 10 and 11 as well. So if any new updates break, we'll be sure to add that to our report as well.
Okay, beautiful. And for those of you watching, if anybody else knows anything, you'd like to submit any pictures or videos to us, we are also open to that. You can hit us up on any of our social media platforms, or you can go ahead and send us an email. Jill, thank you for this report. And you guys, as we got that update from our meteorologist about what's going on in the skies here in Philadelphia, I just want to keep you updated that it's not just the heat, it also happens to be the air quality, because Canada's wildfire smoke seems to be making its way all the way here to Pennsylvania, and it's going to impact us right here in Philadelphia. So here's what you need to know. First of all, take a look at some video. It shows just how hazy the skies out here already were, and it's only going to get worse tomorrow. So these smoky conditions could be the worst that we have seen since 2023. Remember back in June of 2023 when there was some wildfire smoke that prompted a code red air quality alert here in Philly? Well, that's what we're dealing with again, but they say that this one may be a little worse. So any children, older adults, people with breathing issues, or any other kind of medical condition are considered to be the most vulnerable in our area, and you're going to want to keep them in mind. So whether it's making sure they've got the masks that they need so that their nose, their lungs are covered, that's going to be very helpful. You're also going to want to make sure that they are staying indoors. They are not opening up windows. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have an interview where we can go over some of the best ways to keep yourself safe. But I can tell you from officials, other than the windows that I was telling you about, they want to let people know that what you could end up experiencing, whether you're one of the most vulnerable or just anyone dealing with this, maybe some coughing, some chest pains, maybe even shortness of breath. It could potentially cause some headaches, rapid heartbeat, some stinging in your eyes, and maybe even irritate your sinuses. If you experience any of these side effects, you are encouraged to try to reach out to a medical official as soon as possible. Try to get seen so you can make sure that you are all right. So normally, air quality in the United States is measured on a fine particulate matter index of 0 to 500. Now, if you're in the range of 0 to 50, it's considered good air quality. If you reach the range of 100 to 150, it's considered unhealthy for sensitive groups, and that prompts a code orange alert. The next tier is 151 to 200, and that's considered broadly unhealthy, and that's when it arises to a code red. I'm not exactly sure where we range between 151 and 200, but I do know that they have already issued a code red for Pennsylvania. I can tell you when things get a lot worse, it's a code purple. That's anywhere between 201 to 300. We are not there, but that means the air is very unhealthy at that point. And then what you never want to get to is a code maroon. That's when the air quality is labeled hazardous, which is so much worse for anyone, not just people who are considered the most vulnerable in our area. All right, you guys, remember that you can interact with me in real time. I'm able to read any of your comments on our social media pages. So right now, I've actually got TikTok pulled up. You can still see the skyline that we were just looking at in the city. And as you guys come on in, I've got some people leaving jokes. I won't read your comment out loud, but that was a good one. As you guys come on in, let me know where you are watching me from. When we come back, I'll try to give you guys a shout out. In the meantime, while we're talking about wildfires in Canada and some brush fires in Santa Clarita, California, I want to bring you to a scrapyard fire right here in Philadelphia, and how it, excuse me, not Philadelphia, in our region in the Northeast, and how it seems to be affecting the residents who live nearby. We'll get into that when we come back. Welcome back to Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray. A lot is going on all across the country, but we're going to keep things right here close to home. So just outside of Philadelphia, we're talking about Darby, which is in Delaware County. We're hearing that there are some air quality checks, some tests running right now as we speak. That's because earlier today there was this massive scrapyard fire. I feel like we keep hearing about these incidents over and over again where there seems to be a large fire. We're not quite hearing what's causing it, but unfortunately that is something that the residents in the area have to deal with. I do believe we have some video, do we, of the fire itself. So you can see how thick the smoke is. You can see the first responders on the scene trying to put it out as quickly as possible. But when it comes to these kinds of fires, we don't exactly know what caused this one in particular, but let's just say, what if it was a lithium battery? Water does not help. So as you can see, it's just burning and burning. And unfortunately, because of all of that thick smoke that we saw and are seeing in this video, they now are having to do air quality tests to make sure that the people who live nearby are okay. Air quality is already expected to be poor because I just told you about those Canadian wildfire smoke lines that are coming into our area. And so people who live in this particular area are definitely under observation. There was a shelter in place for a while. It has been lifted ever since. The fire was brought under control, thankfully. I don't believe at this point in time it is still burning. We heard that it was under control by 1 p.m. today. But EMR says the fire is believed to have started on top of a pile of inbound metal materials that had been exposed to the extreme heat. Remember, we are going into our 5th heat wave, thinking that we're going to experience some triple-digit temperatures. So you guys just keep an eye on your neighbors, make sure everybody around you is okay. I do suggest you guys wear masks for the time being until we get some word that it may not be that serious. I would rather be safe than sorry. Let's move on to another big story, the heat, how you guys are handling it, how you guys are coping with it. I want to get right out to Shawnette Wilson, one of our reporters. I know a lot of people are still trying to have some summer fun and get out and do all the things, but while the heat is like kind of getting oppressive, how are they handling things out there, Shawnette?
People are outside, Judea. And, you know, I recall like all these conversations that we have in the newsroom, right? Like one of our managers said, like maybe yesterday, like, I remember back in January or February, and people were like, it's cold. Well, now it is July and it's hot. So that is what we are dealing with. Tonight, we are right now in Southwest Philly at Connell Park, where there is supposed to be a movie night outside. Council President Kenyatta Johnson is sponsoring this free event. And let me give you a look here. It doesn't start until 7:30, 8 o'clock is what they told me, somewhere between that half hour. But they are already starting to set up. A few people have already come. You can see they've got blankets, you know, on the lawn here. We saw some boxes of pretzels going in. They're going to have drinks. So there's, you know, it's a free event. And then you can see like the projector is kind of set up, the screen for the movie. They're going to be showing Disney Soul is what the Instagram post for Council President Kenyatta Johnson said. So these people are prepared to be out here tonight, and they look excited about it. I mean, you know, these are families who brought their kids out. They're getting them out the house. It's free. And I don't know how much of a relief they're going to get as we move through the night. You know, they're hoping that, you know, they're waiting, you know, hopefully until the sun goes down to really start the movie. But I think it's going to be a while. So it's interesting to see if they're going to feel any relief the later they wait. I kind of feel like not so much. But it is good to see a community coming out to support this event that the city is putting on, Council President Kenyatta Johnson, for free. Now, earlier today, we went out around the city to see what other people were doing. And, you know, Judea, our city is big for outside dining. We've always had it, but I feel like, you know, it just exploded in popularity also during COVID. And we would find people out during the winter when it's like freezing doing outside dining. Well, today in Northern Liberties on 2nd Street, we found people out eating outside by choice because most of these restaurants have indoor and outdoor seating. Over at, I think it was Urban Brewing Company on 2nd Street, they actually had the big industrial sized fans out, which, you know, we'll have some video to show you of that now, for people who wanted to sit outside. I walked past it. I didn't really feel like any relief, but it's nice that the business cares about their customers, right? And they have these fans up for people who want to dine outside. And then across the street at El Camino, I met a couple who they were at odds about whether they wanted to be out in the weather. But the woman won. She wanted tacos. Tacos is what had this couple out today. So let's listen to their interview.
We definitely did, and the dog's all hot. He's like, you killing me out here. I'm like, I wanted tacos.
You barely can breathe out here right now. Yeah, it's horrible.
But this one. She got you out here.
Yeah, she got me out here, yeah.
So you said you didn't want to do it. Why?
It's too hot, but, you know, she wants her tacos, so anything for tacos.
Dehydrated.
Get you one of those, Judea. Get you one of those. Anything for tacos, says Juan Diaz is his name. Get you one of those. Yes.
They say happy wife, happy life, and clearly he lives and breathes by that, lives and dies by it.
Yes. I mean, well, you lives and breathes. You heard him saying that it was hard to breathe out there. Air quality was bad, but he was taking one for his girlfriend. He didn't seem like very excited about it, but, you know, he did have a margarita on the table, and he did tell me that, you know, they were hydrating with water and stuff like that as well. So, you know, they were out, like, you know, dining outside. Now, one of the other reasons, though, because I said, well, they have indoor dining. Why did you want to, you know, eat outside? And they said, well, you know, they do provide water for, like, if you bring your dog with you. And they didn't think that you could take them indoors. So they were okay. Shout out to El Camino for providing a bowl and fresh water for the pets that come along with their parents. So there's no shortage of people out. I mean, you know, and later tonight on our story on Fox 29 at 10, you'll see, you know, we ran into a young man from North Philly who was in Rittenhouse selling his artwork in the heat. And, you know, many other people are out today. So people just seem to think like it is summer, as long as you stay hydrated, maybe keep a cool rag and like pat yourself down, that they'll be okay.
Got you. And I mean, keeping in mind that today is SIPS, yeah, I guess people would be getting out. They don't care. They just want to get together with their friends, take a load off after work. So, hey.
And you just have to make sure you're doing the right thing, you know, because again, the air quality, you know, that is a real thing. Staying hydrated is very important. And people say it, but I think sometimes it's easy to lose sight of that. You know what I mean? When you're out and you're having fun. But again, at this event tonight, like, you know, hopefully when this gets started, you know, these families will make out well. Like I said, Council President definitely has plenty of things to drink for them and snacks. So hopefully, you know, you just got to listen to your body. As doctors, you know, who we interview will often say, your body will tell you, you know, when it's too much, even if you feel like you can push through.
Absolutely. It'll tell you first, and then it'll sit you down if you don't listen. So Shawnette is absolutely right about that. And I love that they're going to get to watch Soul. That's actually one of my favorite Disney movies. I thought it was so creatively put together. Even though it's a kid's movie, I feel like that one was for the adults. That one's for the...
I haven't seen it, so maybe I'll get to take it in.
Enjoy. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm going to leave you with that. Shawnette, thank you for giving us this report. Have a ball out there. And for those of you guys who are watching with us, remember Shawnette did say to make sure you're staying safe. We've told you that maybe a mask should be considered. We are experiencing some different air quality, some very poor air quality out here. I believe they already issued a code red alert here in Pennsylvania. So we just want to make sure that you guys are all staying up to date with that and practicing some safe practices while you are out and about, especially if you happen to be one of our most vulnerable in our population. So those are children. We're talking about our elderly folks, those who are already experiencing some breathing issues or have any other underlying medical conditions. And if you don't have one, just think about your neighbors, your friends, family members. Someone else might not visibly seem like they're suffering, but they could be undergoing something deep under. So let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I want to speak really quickly with our Jake Leonard about anything that's going on. We're talking about trending topics, maybe even pose our question of the night with you all. And then I want to get you updated. President Donald Trump was actually in Pennsylvania himself today, too. He was out in Carlisle. We'll get into what he was here for, what he was talking about, and even get to show you a piece of it. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray. I had to bring up Jake Leonard to the
Hey,
desk. Hey,
hey.
how you doing today?
Good. I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good too. It is hot outside, but we've got the AC on in here, so we're all
We're
right.
chilling. It's actually freezing in this room, so we're having the problem that's opposite from everyone outside.
First world problems. That's what
Right.
we're having. Okay, did you hear that report with Shawnette? She said that they're
Yes.
actually going to watch Soul out there.
Yes.
Have you gotten to see it already?
No, I haven't.
Oh my goodness.
No, I haven't. It's one of those movies that
I'm so shocked, actually.
No, I haven't seen the whole thing. I've seen like bits and pieces of it. You know,
Okay.
it's like one of those things that I've seen it like on playing somewhere or like on a plane, but like I've never sat and seen the whole thing from start to finish. And I feel like that's a movie that is deserving of that treatment.
It is kind of like Inside Out. It is one of
I
those.
love Inside
looks
Out.
like okay. So
Yeah,
I think
I love Inside
I feel
Out.
like you would like this too.
Yes.
It's one of those movies. I'm not going to give it away or anything like that, but you're going to put it on for the kids, and then you're going to sit
You're
there
gonna
and
be
be
like,
like,
wow, that was really good.
"Am I being read for filth right now? Why are you telling me about myself and my life?" It's really good. So I suggest everybody go out and see it. They're gonna have a ball out there. But you know, what movies are you watching lately?
So, a big movie that I'm excited for, that I'm gonna be sat for. It's about to come out.
Sad.
We've talked about this before. They were doing all this crazy promotion. They had the Trojan horse. They had that awesome popcorn bucket. The Odyssey. I mean, literally, I think it's gonna be the summer blockbuster. I mean,
Well, that's what the people are saying.
I mean, the cast is stacked. Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, Zendaya, Tom Holland. Like
did
it
they
just
come up
goes
with the money?
on and on and on. And so the movie is starting to come out, and critics are starting to see it, and it's getting rave reviews. Okay, so people are saying, you know, blockbuster, obviously, but going a little bit deeper, they're saying Matt Damon, his best performance ever.
Oh, wow.
He plays Odysseus, so obviously he has a pretty meaty role and is the protagonist. They say Anne is really good. She's playing his wife, who he's trying to get home to. Tom Holland plays his son. So it's rave reviews. I read one review. They describe it passion in every frame, and I saw one that was really interesting. So obviously this was directed by Christopher Nolan. Okay, and they're saying that it almost feels like a spiritual sequel to Oppenheimer. And at first I was like, what? Like, that doesn't make sense. It's like two completely different things. Like, I mean, Oppenheimer, true story. This is this epic, you know? But when I read it, I was like, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense. Basically, the way that they're describing it is another movie about the protagonist, you know, in this case, Odysseus, kind of having to deal with the consequences and a lot of drawback on his actions. So obviously we saw that in Oppenheimer, the atomic bomb, and you know what he had to face after that. This whole movie is about Odysseus trying to get home to his family after embarking on this, you know, journey, and he faces a bunch of challenges. So I thought that was a really interesting way to
Comparison.
look at it. Like, I was like, okay, like that's a really, whoever came up with that, like, props, because that made me want to see it more. I mean, everything is making me want to be like, when can I get a ticket?
Okay, so am I tripping? Is it already out, or is it?
No, it's not out like officially. It's coming out soon. I want to say it might actually be Friday. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Somebody else is
Yeah.
ready to see it too.
So, but it's like there's starting to be screenings for like the press.
Okay,
And stuff like that. Yeah.
Because I was like, I feel like I have seen people getting up and like
Right.
ready for this.
Right.
They've been getting
And
ready
yeah,
for
and then
screenings.
typically like some theaters have, you know, like the early access. So I'm sure there are some theaters across the world who have already played it. And I'm sure there are people, critics aside, that have seen it. So I'm so excited. Like, I was just recently having a conversation about how I feel like I have been really going to the theaters a lot, like almost like in my movie era. As funny as that sounds, like I typically was never a big like movie person, but then so far this summer I've been seeing back to back to back, and I mean, we have a stacked summer lineup, so I think this is another reason to be sad.
They
So,
are saying that as young people are bringing
Yes.
back the going to the movie theater thing.
100%.
I am not quite there yet.
Okay.
I do like to go to the movies,
Right.
but only for certain
Right.
movies. Otherwise, I feel like I
Yeah.
can stay home with my blanket and my own
Listen,
popcorn
yeah.
that it didn't cost $15.
Yes, I agree. I feel like there are some movies that you have to see in the theaters, I think this might be one of them.
Okay.
Like, I think it's gonna look so beautiful on the big screen. Maybe I'll even see it in IMAX if I can. I just think it's gonna be like a huge event, and it is kind of seemingly gonna be kind of similar to the hype and the rollout and everything that Oppenheimer had a couple years ago, minus Barbie. So
Since I am new to Philly, are you guys big on the like movie dinner type of setup?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
There's one of my go-to theaters. Well, okay. There's a lot of awesome independent theaters in the area. There's actually one right across the street from the station. Yes.
Wait. What? With all the pretty bricks and it's like colorful, or
Yes. Well, you know the parking garage.
Yes.
It's right underneath it.
How did I never?
Yes. Yes.
I walk past this every single day, and I
Yes.
never knew that that's what that was.
Yes, it's so
Okay.
there's a lot of great, independent theaters throughout the city, but if I want to, kind of live it up, I will go to the AMC in the Fashion District. They have the nice like reclining chairs, and they also do like the thing where you can scan the QR code and order food to your seat. So
Okay. That may be the way I do it. Well,
Yes.
if it's not sold out,
I know.
because
I
the
know.
hype is so big.
I know. I feel like I'm gonna have to wait a little bit because I remember tickets were selling out left and right. I remember people were describing getting tickets for this almost like the Eras tour for Film Bros. I remember because people were waiting in line, like in the queue for movie tickets, and I feel like that's very uncommon.
I feel like people are not saying this. I feel like it's you, and you're just trying to get it to catch on. And it might. Thank you for giving us a look
Of
at
course,
what's trending
of
around,
course.
what everybody's talking about. Let me know if you guys are interested in seeing this movie as well.
Yeah.
Maybe I will be influenced.
Yeah. I think you're gonna have to see it.
No problem. All right, let's get you guys a quick look at the White House. President Donald Trump just made his way back to D.C., caught a flight, because earlier he was actually in our neck of the woods in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. So I heard that he was there leading the Defense Summit at the U.S. Army War College. Now, he talked a little bit about battlefield issues, the Iran war, even as we are all seeing some big conflict and trying to figure out what's next. He spent more time speaking between himself, Pete Hegseth, Republican Pennsylvania Senator David McCormick, talking about the $10 billion that have been pledged in investments from domestic defense and technology companies. He talked a little bit more about some other things as well. We actually got to get a little snippet for you all. I want to spend at least 10 minutes or so. Let me know if you guys are interested in keeping it going. We'll see what he talked about. I'll gauge your interest, and then we'll figure out where we'll go next after this.
And Pennsylvania, you are really rocking. You got the big ones here. And I'm in a world where I'm shaking hands with all celebrity business people mostly, but they're biggest names in business, and they're all spending money in our country, but they're all spending money in Pennsylvania. So I just want to say thank you. But this is a hot place. We would say it's a hot commonwealth. Never call it a state, you're in deep trouble. I've seen people's political careers end over that. Just call it a commonwealth. A lot of people don't remember that. But I think it's great to see what's going on and to see the kind of genius that I'm surrounded by. All of the people that I met backstage, but it's pure genius. I want to thank Senator David McCormick for organizing this extraordinary event, and I came to another one with you about a year ago, and that was a monster, but it wasn't like this one. This is even beyond. I was on energy, and it was very impressive, but this is something crazy what's going on. Outstanding work on behalf of the incredible people of Pennsylvania. You know, he followed me along the campaign trail, and he had a tough race. It was a tough race. A lot of people wouldn't have had the courage to do it. It takes guts to run for office. People don't know that. Only the people that never get there know it. But the fact that you did what you did it once, and you did it really well, but things didn't work out, and you did it a second time against actually a much tougher opponent, and it wasn't even close. So I think he's a great guy. Great, spectacular guy with a great effort. But we're here today to celebrate a colossal victory for this Commonwealth and for the entire nation. This afternoon, we're announcing nearly $10 billion of new investments in our defense industrial base right here in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And these investments will create more than 4,000 jobs. Pennsylvania workers will build the ships, submarines, trucks, weapons, and industries that will ensure America remains the strongest and most powerful nation in the history of the world. We're doing better now than we've ever done. We have $19.2 trillion. We used to go million, then we went billion, now we're into the trillions. But there's never been anything like it. The country is as hot as it's ever been, and we're doing really well with Iran. The Islamic Republic of Iran is not happy right now. Should have been done 47 years ago. Should have been done at least during the 47-year period. And it wasn't. Other presidents didn't do what was right. They should have done it a long time ago. It would have been much easier. And they want to settle so badly. They don't like what we're doing. And they do want to settle. We'll find out whether or not we settle with them or we just finish it off. But I want to thank Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. He's been amazing. Pete, thank you very much. Great job. He used to do interviews. All he wanted to talk about is war. Sir, will you give a pardon to 19 soldiers? Why? Well, they killed a lot of people. They were trained to kill, and that's what they did. And I pardoned a lot of people. But they've all been well behaved, right? Okay, good. Otherwise, it'll be a big story. Trump shouldn't have let him go. But I'm blaming you, Pete, okay? But he was very successful, actually, on television. I think he probably hated it because he can't love anything more than what he's doing right now, and he's doing it incredibly well. So, great job, Pete. Appreciate it. Small Business Administrator Kelly Loeffler. Kelly, how are you doing? Thank you very much. He's great. Secretary of the Army Dan Driscoll, who's really out there with that beautiful smile. With that beautiful smile, but he's actually a killer. Look at that beautiful, nice face. Everything's so happy. He's a killer. Would you believe it? Those are the best kinds, actually. Commanding General of the Army, Trevor Bredenkamp. Trevor, thank you very much. And a couple of warriors in a different way, but they are great. Scott Perry and John Joyce, congressmen, and they are fantastic, and they've been my friends for a long time. Where are you? They've been my friends for a long time. They're tough cookies, and they want what's right for the country. Thanks as well to your amazing state treasurer, Stacey Garrity, who is running for governor, and I'm telling you, this guy Shapiro is totally overrated. I watched him the other night doing a speech, and he does not have what it takes. Maybe he'll win, and he's expected to win, but I hear things about Stacey, and I'm hearing some poll numbers that are very good, but Shapiro is, he doesn't have what it takes. Now, people think that's a horrible statement to make, but that's the way politics is. That's the way it is. I tell the truth. Attorney General David Sunday. David, thank you very much. Great job. And probably the most important person in the room is Senator McCormick's wife, Dina. I mean, I know Dina. Dina worked for me for 4 years. She worked for me. I know her almost as well as David. Hopefully not quite as well. But Dina has been, she's been amazing, and she's gotten a very nice position as the president of Meta, working with a very good guy. So a lot of good people, but one in particular. So good luck and doing a fantastic job. Thank you. She was great. She worked in the administration first term, and she was fantastic. We also have a big name, a very big name, a very brilliant name. Somebody who's done, I guess, in the history, I'll make enemies when I say this, but I shouldn't because I think it's true. Jamie Dimon is maybe the greatest banker in this country in many, many decades. CEO of JP Morgan. The president of General Dynamics, Danny Deep, and you know, they make the greatest submarine in the world. They just have to make them faster. Danny, will you please make them faster? That's true with all of the munitions people, actually. Faster, we need a little more speed. We have the best quality in the world, but we need a little more speed. The president of Hanwha Defense USA, Michael Coulter. Thank you, Michael. Okay. The president and total boss of Boeing, that's Kelly Ortberg, who's a terrific guy. I think he just gave me the award for being the salesman he started of the year. I said, that's not the year. Then he said, what about the decade? Nope, much more than that. So it's the salesman in the history of Boeing. I have sold more Boeing planes, over 1,000, and nobody comes close. You know what I got for that? Nothing. I get nothing. Now, if I was in the private sector, I'd say I want a piece of the company for that, right? But Kelly, you've done a great job. You're bringing it really back, and you're up to 44 planes now. Or 44. They're producing the planes at a very rapid rate, and Kelly has done a tremendous job. President of Northrop Grumman, Kathy Warden, showed us a plane that I like a lot. President of Lockheed Martin, Jim Taiclet. Jim, thank you very much. Thank you, Jim. Good job you're doing. President and COO of Blackstone, a friend of mine from the real estate wars. He was a brilliant guy. I always said, this guy's always there first. What's with him? John Gray. He's a real estate genius, and other geniuses. Now real estate leaders don't even have to participate, he said, but you've done a great job, and say hello to you-know-who. He's a tremendous guy. He's been a big help. Steve has been a big help. Co-chairman of TWG Global, Thomas Tull. Thank you, Thomas. CEO of Divergent Technologies, Lucas Zinger. I just saw some of their technology. It's amazing. I saw some of those things backstage. You don't want to talk about them. They're pretty amazing. CEO of EQT, Toby Rice. Thank you, Toby. President of North America's Building Trades Unions. Is the most powerful man in the room. It's Dina for the women, and it's this guy for the men. Sean McGarvey. Thanks, man. Sean McGarvey. Good guy, too. And the founder of Valor Equity Partners, Antonio Gracious, and he's somebody highly respected by everybody, including my family, my kids, and also helped us tremendously working at the early stages of the administration with cost, because we inherited a cost mess, and he was fantastic, and I want to thank him, and Elon too. Elon did a fantastic job. This year we're celebrating the 250th anniversary of American freedom, and no state has been more central to protecting that freedom than the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is where America declared its independence, where George Washington crossed to Delaware, where the Union was saved by the heroes of Gettysburg. What a war that was when you read about it. And where Pennsylvania workers poured the iron and steel that won 2 world wars and won lots of other things in addition. With today's announcement, Pennsylvania will play a key role in building the arsenal of freedom to defend our nation in the modern world. We have things happening in this state. I think really people don't know what's happening in Pennsylvania. People aren't really, literally they're not able to even fathom what's going on. I'm just sitting back there, I thought I was very well aware of it. And then I'm meeting people, very well-known people, and they're saying what they're doing here. We got to get the word out a little bit, because this is very much of a miracle, very much.
Yeah, Pennsylvania has been the center of everything since the beginning of America. A lot of people have been down here, whether it's been for sports or to celebrate the 250th birthday on the 4th of July. We had plenty of different performances, speakers. A lot of people have come down here from all across the world to experience what American culture is like, and more importantly, what Philly culture is like. It's been pretty amazing. But as we are due for a quick 2-minute break, we'll get right back into President Donald Trump's remarks. Again, he spoke today in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. He's sitting amongst some of his colleagues, including Pete Hegseth. This is the Defense and Innovation Summit. So we'll get into his remarks on how we're innovating here in Pennsylvania when we come back. Welcome back to Philadelphia Live. I want to bring you back out to Carlisle, Pennsylvania, where earlier today President Donald Trump held a defense and innovation summit with a couple of his colleagues. And in the room, we actually got to see Pennsylvania Senator Dave McCormick. I want to let you listen into their remarks and what they had to say about how Pennsylvania is innovating around here.
Get together, but really much more importantly for the outstanding work that he's doing as a senator. He's an incredible person. And Pennsylvania has never had a greater warrior, the U.S. Senate, than Dave McCormick. And it's an honor to be with you all. And we're going to do things that nobody would believe. If you go back 2 years when we were a failing nation, nobody would believe that we could be doing business and we could be even safety. The lowest murder number since 1900. Think of that. The lowest number since 1900, 125 years ago. Nobody would believe we have the lowest crime numbers, despite the fact that millions and millions of people came into our country illegally, and many of them were, they're gone now, but many of them were from prisons, they were drug addicts, they were from mental institutions. We have the lowest crime numbers we've had in decades and the lowest murder number in 125 years. So it's really been amazing. And David, I'll give it to you. I'll turn it out, but it's just an honor. I'm with so many people that I respect so much. I don't know all of you. I know many of you through reputation, through reading, but you're an amazing group of people, and you really are making our country great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. We are so honored to have you here. I know you've got a special love for Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania has a special love for you. And this is all about your vision of peace through strength. And what's happening here at this summit is really all the people we need in the room, the prime contractors, the energy leaders, the emerging technologies, the leaders in labor, the leaders in finance, all the team that needs to be in place to implement your vision. So if it's all right with you, what I'd like to do is turn to the Secretary of War, let him make some remarks, and then draw in some of the business leaders we have here. And I'll say the one little story is when I was on the campaign trail with the president, one time I walked off the stage and he said, "You know what I like about you?" He said, "You don't talk too much." He said, you don't go on and on. There was somebody else there, I won't say who it was, he goes, going on and on. He goes, "Keep it short." And so we'll all keep it short. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator, that was a good warning and a good reminder. Mr. President, it is true to say that there has never been a moment like this or a stage like this where innovators, prime contractors, private equity, titans of industry, labor leaders, defense leaders have come together for this type of moment. There's never been a moment like this where the aperture has opened up inside the Department of Defense for defense and the second word, innovation. Your demand of me as a business leader and a builder is that we move at the speed of business and competition and speed and scale. And that's what these folks have funded and founded in their companies. But our bureaucracy was built to keep most of you out. And we've been waging a war of attrition against the Pentagon bureaucracy to open up the aperture and make sure competition and speed and innovation and commercial options have a seat at the table. Not just great prime contractors who've been there for a long time, but many of our great companies that make many of our best systems started to look a lot more like the government than they looked like business. And so what the president does behind the Resolute desk with prime contractors, and you've been at those meetings and I've been at those meetings, and it's a reminder to all of us that our nation needs the best weapons, not tomorrow, but today. And we need these companies not just adding an extra shift to the factory, but investing in another plant and another plant and another manufacturing line, which is what's happening here in Pennsylvania and all around the country. So when you talk about the arsenal of freedom, this is only something that a builder-in-chief could unleash, and you're doing it, sir, on American manufacturing and our industrial base across the country in energy. But in defense specifically, this is a generational investment in the future of our warfighting capabilities that our country has not seen since Ronald Reagan, and this one is bigger. Because what Joe Biden and previous administrations did to our military, you talk about a dead country. We had a dead department, a Department of Defense, that was doing things the old way, sending the same money in the wrong direction, red tape, and monopolizing certain platforms. And you said we won't do it anymore, and the American warfighter requires that we change how we do these things. And we're going to hold the big guys accountable, which is what you do behind the Resolute desk with executive orders and no stock buybacks and no more delays. And we demand that you build new plants. And then we're also going to make sure the new runners, the fast runners, the young guys, the companies, the tech companies, our best innovators have the ability to get into the Defense Department. You shouldn't have to sue your way in to the Department of War, which is what companies in the past have had to do in order to compete. I hope these companies can attest the fact that because of President Trump's leadership, we have an entirely different department. And it's important because we're at an entirely different moment. Not only do we have near-peer adversaries with historic military buildups, but we're at a step change moment. AI and frontier models, autonomy, quantum, space, hypersonics, you name it. If you're ahead now and you get ahead of the game, you're going to be way ahead. If you fall behind now, you fall even further behind. The have-nots and the haves, that gap is widening. President Trump sees the moment and is investing in it in our department, but across government, to make sure the 21st century is an American century. But he's demanding that we do it differently. We do it in a fiscally responsible way. We audit our department. We ensure that the money that we ask for is well spent. So we've got a different department, a different moment, and thank God we have a different president who rebuilt the military once. He's doing it again and is willing to make a historic investment, $1.5 trillion investment in the War Department to ensure that we outcompete, without question, every other nation on planet Earth, so that things like Venezuela can continue to be done to reestablish deterrence around the world. But that next midnight hammer that's required 10, 20 years down the road is because of the F-47 and the B-21 and the autonomy and the carriers that this president will build because of this historic investment. The Golden Dome that protects our country, the AI that allows us to target faster. This investment will fundamentally change the battlefield, keep the American people safe now and into the future, and it would not happen with Donald Trump. Mr. President, thank you very much.
All right, you guys, so that's just a snippet of some of the stuff that they talked about during this summit. It was about an hour and some change long. If you guys are interested in hearing more from it, please let me know. We're streaming right now on our social media platforms, and this is an interactive chat, which means if you guys want to see something, all you got to do is let me know. I'm able to read that in real time and then bring you the news that you are looking for. But in the meantime, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to continue all of the excitement for the FIFA World Cup. We are almost done. But it has been quite the ride here in North America, especially here in Philly. We got to see so many different fans from all across the world. I want to talk to you about what's happening next, where you can see it, and all the things that we've been doing right here on the grounds just to get excited for it. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Philadelphia Live. I'm keeping my eye on our live stream chat, and I just asked what you guys wanted to hear about, what news you were looking forward to getting more information on. And shout out to Brenda J. Lamore, who's always with us on our live stream chat. She says that she'd like to hear more about this row home collapse. So if you're with us at the top of the show, we had a report from Jill, but just in case you weren't, don't worry, I'll go over the details we've gotten from her. So out in West Philadelphia, honestly, they feel like they've gotten hit so much. There was that microburst storm that just popped up in the area. We got to see trees coming down on cars. We saw a roof come off of a home and then find its way in the street. And a lot of people were stuck trying to figure out how they were going to get around to where they were going. And it just seemed like one of those storms that came up out of nowhere. Well, today we're hearing that a row home has partially collapsed. And we don't quite know what the details are in this situation, but we do have some videos so you can take a look at how it is. So in this area, you can already see the tape that has really covered that particular neighborhood, just trying to make sure people don't come in. You can see how the windows have shattered and come out. We're talking about 61st Street and Spruce, just in case you guys are familiar with the area. Now, thankfully, this property was vacant at the time, so no one is believed to have been injured in this situation. But again, it was a partial collapse on a row home that came down around 6:45 a.m. And even though that particular building was vacant, there are neighbors, and those neighbors feel a little nervous about what this means for the integrity of their structures. Well, so far, officials haven't told us that there's any reason to be concerned for the people who live nearby, but they are working to figure out what exactly happened here and try to repair it and put it back together so that the people who live there can feel as safe as possible. We did try to talk to some neighbors in the area. They said that they were uncomfortable. They didn't want to speak on camera about what happened, which is very understandable. They're probably still feeling nervous about what happened in general. And so that is the base of what we heard so far. We're going to try to get more information available for you all, but I can tell you we've gotten a statement that says this morning the Department of Licenses and Inspections, Inspection Safety and Compliance Division responded to a report of a partially collapsed sidewall on this particular street, on Spruce Street. I don't want to tell you the exact address just for privacy. Again, they say the property was vacant at the time of the incident and that no one was injured. They also go on to say, in the interest of public safety, the property has been placed out for an emergency curbside demolition bid. The site will remain secured while emergency demolition activities are coordinated and carried out. So again, you got to see just how much of that side wall truly came down. You got to see the windows are pretty much busted out in that particular section. And it's just a miracle that no one was hurt, because imagine, even though it was that early in the morning, what if somebody had been walking that close to the home or something like that? Again, thankfully, miraculously, no one was injured in this situation. Let's get you guys caught up on all things FIFA World Cup. So during Behind the News with Bill Anderson, he was out and about as he normally is, talking to all the different reporters, the producers who are hard at work. And then all of a sudden the newsroom went crazy, and that's because Argentina scored. And then they scored again. And it was one of those situations where a lot of people were wondering whether or not it was going to be like a stricter match between the two. Argentina was going out. I think I actually have my details incorrect. We had the Argentina-England match. England, their fans usually go absolutely crazy about making sure that they're doing what needs to be done. I've gone out to a couple of match parties myself, and England, they go wild for the boys. But Argentina fans definitely do too. In most of the matchups that we've gotten to see, the crowd seems to be a sea of blue and white for Messi. A lot of people are wearing Messi jerseys on their back. And so, of course, they were excited to see that Argentina last minute pulled out a show-stopping win against England. And so that means Argentina will be facing Spain for the final championship match. It's all going down on Sunday. And I just want to show you guys a couple of different things that are going on for FIFA Fan Fest, just in case you want to get out there here in Philadelphia. Yes, we don't have matches here at Philadelphia Stadium anymore, but there are plenty of opportunities for you to have a good time. So we've got a really famous DJ coming out tomorrow. I suggest you all get on out there 5 to 9 p.m. if you are looking for that kind of experience. Bring your friends, bring your family. Maybe you'll meet somebody new out there. Then on Friday, we've got a BB Rexa performance. Again, that is 5 to 9. And then on Saturday, they're hosting some people out there between 4 and 8. But Sunday is going to be the big day. They've got the World Cup final watch party for anybody who's interested. Gates open up at 2 o'clock. The game gets started at 3, and they're expected to stay open until 6. And if it's anything like the last couple of nights that we've seen, like some of the video that you're seeing here, it'll be packed. People will be ready. It doesn't even matter that it's going to be hot. You see how excited they get out there. So it might be a good time if you're interested. Meanwhile, during the Argentina-England match, one of our reporters, Greg Payne, actually got out and about in Philadelphia just to see how people were dealing with the heat and the air quality while trying to root on some of their favorite teams. And it was really interesting on how people decided to beat the heat. Take a look.
The rivalry on the pitch is historic, but today at Philadelphia FIFA Fan Festival, the real opponent is the elements. As Argentina and England clash in the semifinals of the World Cup, temperatures are pushing well into the 90s. Nothing too bad for these guys, still managing to go head-to-head on the mini field.
It's hot out here, but I mean, you guys are continuing to play in the heat. How come?
It's just love for the game, right? Love for the game.
I would say we love the sport. We love the sport. We love the sport.
And after the match, they were definitely loving the H2O. With the heat index climbing, the most popular spot on Lemon Hill isn't right in front of the big screen, but under tents, and in Nathan Sharpay's case, drinking a cold one.
The love and the heart for Argentina was keeping me going. Was keeping me going for sure.
To survive 90 minutes of soccer, fans are deploying a full tactical playbook. Umbrellas have become temporary shields. The shaded areas are prime real estate. Water ice is key.
Hey, just the ice now.
Water ice.
Water ice.
And hydration stations are seeing nonstop action as fans endlessly refill their bottles, or in this case, jugs.
You're not messing around. You got the big jug.
No, I'm not. No, it's hot, man. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot. We're out here, though. I'm still here, but, you know, it's hot outside. You got to do what you got to do. They were like, yo, you got to pour it out when you come in. I'm like, that's fine. Got to refill it inside. They're like, yeah. You got to do what you got to do, though.
Over at the active cooling zones, industrial-sized misters and fans are proving to be the ultimate MVP of the afternoon, giving people a desperately needed second wind. It is a battle of endurance both on the field and on the hill. But for these diehard soccer fans, a little sweat is a small price to pay to be part of World Cup history in Philly.
It goes back to ancient times, man. You could think about how hot it was back there in the Roman days and stuff like that. Those people still came out to see the gladiators, and that's what we're here to see. We're here to see a gladiator fight. We're here to see the entertainment. It's all about the entertainment, man. The heat is not going to keep us back, man. We're here to represent and support our team.
I think my favorite part about that whole story that Greg Payne did for us was him standing right alongside the industrial-sized fans, and you can just see all that mist go out. I remember I took one of my friends, she's actually from Philly, but she's been living in LA. I took her to FIFA Fan Festival at Lemon Hill, and she saw those industrial fans in the distance. She was like, what is that? I was like, oh, it's water. And then she looked at me like I was crazy, and she was like, this hair? You want this hair underneath that water? All right, I got you. I got your point. We won't go over there, but you will be hot. So again, there are some fun things that you can get into if you want to see a performance. I'm so sad that I missed the All-American Rejects. I wanted to live out my inner punk girl from elementary school, but couldn't do that. So I'll just have to live vicariously through you guys who have been posting videos on social media, especially on TikTok. I guess that's okay. Meanwhile, those of you who are interested, out in New Jersey, New York area, we're actually talking about East Rutherford, but they're calling it New York, New Jersey Stadium. They're actually having a huge closing ceremony that you guys might be interested in. So I just got this notification from our executive producer, and bear with me, I want to get through it with you all. They say the event will be about 90 minutes on Sunday, and it's going to be right before the final match. It'll feature performers like Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise going to perform what? I think everybody's just gonna be excited to see him. Post Malone. They're even gonna bring out streamer IShowSpeed, who has been going absolutely crazy for our Houston station. Like, he's been all over their social media and everybody's been loving him. We also know that the ceremony will try to celebrate all of the different teams, all of the islands and countries that were represented in the FIFA World Cup, and all of the 16 host cities. So Philadelphia will get some love too. That's all going down in New Jersey on Sunday, right ahead of the final World Cup match. I also hear that other performers include Laura Pausini, Nicole Scherzinger from the Pussycat Dolls, and Robbie Williams. Jennifer Hudson will also be there to perform the U.S. national anthem. It is going to be incredible. It all starts at 1:30 p.m. In East Rutherford, New Jersey, and then of course kickoff is at 3. So a lot for you guys to get into if you're interested. Take a look at our graphic up there. That lets you know where to watch, when to watch, and where to be. We will be streaming on Fox and on Telemundo, but if you are with any of our team here on Fox Local, I'm going to tell you right now, you will not find the soccer match on Fox Local. You're going to have to go to Fox the Broadcast, so on TV, Fox Sports, the app, or check them out on Telemundo. Meanwhile, it's going to be Spain versus Argentina. Brush up on your Spanish. It's going to be a good old match. All right. You guys, let's continue, keep the ball rolling. I don't know if you've been trying to keep your eye on what's happening with the President's house here in Philly, like literally right down the street from the station, but there's been some back and forth on whether or not they could keep their slavery exhibits, which are featured on different panels right outside that outdoor exhibit. It's really cool for the people who have been able to come up and see it and learn a little bit more about American history, but there has been some concern that the panels that used to be there showcased America in a negative light, and that we still could tell the story of slavery without, as some people have put it, downing America. And so today they actually put up the new panels. They're there on display right now. You're taking a look at what they look like. A lot of people have come out to see them. I'm interested in seeing what you guys think. If you've gotten a chance to check them out, do you like them? Do you agree with the decision to remove the old panels? Do you think they should be put back? How are you feeling about things? Because Philly's mayor, Sherelle Parker, says that she is absolutely upset. She actually says that she is rebuking everything that's going on there. She criticized the federal government for removing what she says history, something that really happened and that we should talk about. She says that she plans to seek a rehearing on the legal issues after June 18th, that court decision that was made right before Juneteenth. She also said that she remains committed to telling the full story of Philadelphia's history, and she doesn't care who in the president's administration gets in her way. So you guys, with that, we are due for another commercial break. When we come back, I want to get back into everything All-Star Game. So we'll be checking in with some of our reporters. We'll also be talking to our newsroom. Like, what were the things that got you really excited for the All-Star Game? What were some of the things that were really exciting throughout the week for you all? We'll check in with those people when we come back. welcome back to Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray. If any of you guys were streaming with us yesterday, there was one point in the show where we were super serious. We were getting into some big news of the day and showing you guys something that happened previously. And then all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye at Citizens Bank Park, I saw fireworks and I had no clue what was going on. It was right after the 4th inning. But today I'm learning that there was this amazing tribute that actually had people in the crowd crying. It's all about The Sandlot, one of my favorite movies. I want to turn things over to one of our reporters, Dawn Timoney, who's been learning more about this amazing experience that people had out there. Dawn, I mean, we couldn't watch it here on the stream, but just talk to me. What was it like out there?
Well, people can't stop talking about this magical moment at the ballpark last night. It was in the 5th inning, and there were fireworks. It didn't seem like anybody really knew, but it was a tribute to America's 250th birthday and a nod to the movie Sandlot, the 1993 movie. There's that iconic fireworks scene where the players play their only night game and the fireworks light up the field and they feel like big leaguers. So they have 10 fans, baseball players from the Philadelphia area that were chosen kind of through the Phillies and some local leagues. And so they taped an intro, and then they had a dress rehearsal at Citizens Bank Park. And then last night was the real thing. The kids rode their bikes out onto the field, and then they were paired with MLB All-Star players who chatted with them, signed balls, bats. One player got to play catch with Freddie Freeman from the Dodgers. We talked to one of the kids. He was paired up with Mike Trout from South Jersey, talking about what a nice guy he was, and he helped him with his stands. And then we talked to a young man who is a big Brandon Marsh fan, and he said just it was like the experience of a lifetime. Here's what he had to say, Judea.
I was paired up with Brandon Marsh, and it was absolutely unreal. So as soon as I got out there, he was a welcoming guy, and he was asking me how like baseball is going and stuff. We were talking about how like the Ray Charles song makes him like emotional and stuff, and then we were just standing there watching the fireworks, and then he was talking about how he asked me like, how do you feel that you're out on the field? I was like, it's just amazing. Like, how does it feel to be out here every single day? And he was like, it's amazing, especially with all the fans and stuff. And then I was talking to him about how my grandmother is a very big Marsh fan. And then, so then that's when I asked him if I could get a video of him saying hi to my mom. And then we did that as soon as I left, like before I left.
And so we have that video, which we will show you on Fox 29 News tonight at 10. It was super cute. And of course, the Ray Charles rendition of America the Beautiful had everybody in tears. That was in the Sandlot movie. And then last night, we talked to one of the parents of these kids. We caught up with them at kind of an impromptu practice in South Philly late this afternoon. And we talked to one of the parents, and he said, who is a coach and also was there last night, and whose son was one of the players on the field. And he said that it was just amazing, phenomenal from beginning to end. You know, the parents had like tears of joy. They were so happy for their kids for this amazing opportunity to actually be on the field at Citizens Bank Park, something they might never have had the opportunity to do before. The fireworks, the players. One young man we talked to said, you know, I was standing on the field with 46,000 people cheering. And he talked about how it's so different to be on the field and hear the cheering than be a fan in the stands and be the one cheering for the players. But as I mentioned, it was just this magical moment that really has so many people talking, even if you're not a fan of baseball. It was just a very, very cool baseball moment.
Dawn, for me, even though I didn't get to watch it in real time, but getting to watch it back on social media and see what had everybody excited, it took me back to the first time I watched The Sandlot. Like I said, it is my favorite movie, and somebody in the live stream chat said this is exactly like it was when I was 10. So clearly a very nostalgic moment for everybody. And then we actually have some video that gets to show at least the fireworks part of it, which we're playing right now for our audience. Now, I'm going to ask everybody in the newsroom. I want to give you the chance to. Maybe the answer is what you just discussed now, but what was your favorite part about, you know, covering All-Star Week or just the game itself? Dawn?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Was it the Sandlot tribute or was it something else?
Oh, for me, it was definitely the Sandlot tribute. I just, you know, especially after we talked to these young players, and we can't show you, but they actually taped like a video intro before they had the live riding of their bikes and the fireworks last night. So, you know, the kids, and they had a dress rehearsal at Citizens Bank Park. So the kids were like, we were a little nervous. We were like, oh my gosh. And then they said when they got out there under the lights, how cool it was. I do have to say, last night I did a story about Kevin McGonigal, who is, he went to Bonner Prendy High School, and he now plays for the Detroit Tigers. He's a local kid. And I had done a story on him back in 2022 when he was committing to Auburn, and he never ended up going because he was drafted by the Tigers. So that was another cool element for me, because I have been kind of following this kid's career since he was 18 years old. Now he's 21, and he's the youngest All-Star at 21, and he had 36 family members at the bank last night, and then the president of his high school was at this bar in Delco that we went to. We talked to him and family friends and some of his Little League coaches. So that was also fun. But I definitely, Sandlot is one of my favorite movies. My daughter loved that movie. I think it just brings people back to their childhood.
Absolutely.
So I think probably that, that was extra special. And it was in celebration of America's 250th birthday. It was, the whole show last night was just phenomenal.
100%. And I'm glad that reporters like you were able to give us a sneak preview of what was going on, since, like I said, we couldn't watch it on the stream, but we were getting a taste of all the different pieces that were making it so special, including your report on Kevin McGonigal. I have to say, too, that while you got up to see his family at that bar and his the people who knew him, like, career-wise, we're talking about sports-wise, Chris O'Connell was actually out and about right before the match, and he ran into Kevin's aunt, who just so happens to be, you know, of course, wearing the Detroit jersey, and he just picked her out in the crowd. He didn't know who she was before he started talking to her, but it just goes to show, like you said, he had so many people out there supporting him. So I hope he feels incredible.
I think he feels it. Everyone I talked to said he's really a humble kid, a hardworking kid. His mom said that this morning that he was probably going to sleep in and see all the friends and family he hadn't been able to see so far before getting back to work. I've interviewed him over the years, and his mom and his dad and his high school coach. So it's really nice to see how well he's doing.
Yeah, you can tell that he was humbled by the way, instead of coming here to go sleep in a hotel, he just wanted to sleep in his childhood bed. Like, it doesn't get more real than that.
Exactly.
Dawn,
exactly.
Thank you for giving us another taste of what was going on out there, walking us through these moments of that tribute. We'll let you go and get started on some of your reporting for tonight's shows as well. You guys will get to see her and get to see what that moment actually looked like if you tune in on our broadcast right here on Fox 29 Philadelphia. And meanwhile, we got a lot more news coming up for you guys, but let's keep it on the sports vein. I want to get right out to our Breland Moore. Breland, you have had the job of all jobs. Today seems to be finally the day you get to breathe, but I just want to pick your brain. Like, what was it like covering All-Star Week?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think it's really special when you're able to have, you know, the best in the world at a sport come together in your city and be able to watch them all. How do I word this? I feel like there is a little kid inside of all of those guys when they have moments like this, right? When we saw the flyover last night, they just all stood and looked up, and it was just so cool to watch them really embrace their inner child a little bit and not take the game so seriously. There's nothing on the line. It's an exhibition game, and so they were able to just kind of have fun, but also to just be able to see how fans reacted to all of this and how Philadelphia really rose to the occasion. It's nothing short of incredible. It's been awesome.
On the Fantastic Sports Show, did you guys get an opportunity to show your audience that umpire who had some local ties?
No, we didn't. No, sorry. There was so much going on last night, and I will be very blunt and very honest. The media setup in the scrum was worse than the Super Bowl. It was extremely chaotic, so I didn't even talk to the umpire that was from here. We were too busy trying to throw elbows to get into the Mike Trout scrum. And that's kind of like how things went all night. So we got plenty of content from the actual players. No, we did not touch on the umpire at all. No.
That's perfect. I'll touch on it here on my show. But I just wanted to check in so that we weren't repeating some of the same content, that people were getting some new things now. But I mean, okay, let's look forward. Of course, All-Star is now a thing of the past for us here in Philadelphia, but you guys do have some more big stuff coming up. Let's tee up what's next. What's next for Philly?
Well, I mean, the Phillies start playing again tomorrow already. They take on the Mets. They start a 3-game series with the Mets tomorrow at 7 o'clock here at Citizens Bank Park. Obviously, the FIFA World Cup semis are over, and the final and the third place game will take place later in this week. The third place game between England and France will be Saturday, and the championship game between Spain and Argentina will take place on Sunday. And then, you know, in a blink of an eye, Eagles training camp will be here, according to the NFL. Now, we've not heard anything from the actual Eagles themselves, which is not anything out of the ordinary. They love to wait until probably about 24 hours before they do something. 24, 48 hours is usually when we get notice. But according to the NFL, Eagles will be reporting on the 28th of July, and then the first day of training camp should, if they follow suit of what they've normally done, should be the 29th, and then that's it. It's training camp, it's preseason, and then before you know it, that opener will be here in no time. So yeah, it really doesn't ever stop. It's just kind of, you get a couple days of break and to be able to recoup. And who knows, at this point, LeBron might sign in the meantime, because I feel like anytime we get a lull in the action, that's just a Murphy's Law type of thing, where someone is going to do something, and we won't actually ever have any sort of lull in the conversation. So we're also on Bron watch.
Yeah, I think he's definitely been the topic of conversation for the last couple of weeks, and people still, they're not giving up hope that he may make Philadelphia his home. I saw Jason Martinez got to interview Boyz II Men, and he actually asked them straight up, like, what do you think about this news? And they're just like, if he's not ready to play defense, we don't really, what are you going to do for us? So that was interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's LeBron James. Of course, everyone wants to have him here, except apparently Boyz II Men. But I still find it a little difficult to wrap my head around the fact that this is a serious thing. We'll see what he makes. I'm sure the decision will come soon-ish. Knowing him, he might drag this thing out into the absolute last minute. But I don't know. I just feel like it's an odd choice to come to Philadelphia this late in your career. I don't really see it happening. But I'll be pleasantly surprised if it does.
Now, you tell me all the time, so I know you're not a betting woman, but just as a professional, you've gotten to watch all the different teams in the league. Who could you see as a pick for him to really round out his career, really go out with a bang?
I think he goes home to Cleveland, personally. So it's a storybook ending. It's a way to cap things off. Miami did get Giannis, so maybe that is an appeal there, but I think he goes home and closes it out where it all started.
Okay. Well, it all makes sense. We're going to keep our eyes on what you guys are doing on the sports team. As you said, if anything happens to pop up, like LeBron, we will definitely be looking toward you guys to see, to get some breaking news on that. In the meantime, I want to bring our audience that umpire that we were talking about there. So let's show you a picture of him. His name is Alan Porter, and he got to, call some of the shots. in the All-Star game Tuesday night. It was really exciting to get to see him, for him to flex his skills and abilities, for everybody to learn his name, and that's because he's from our area. He actually graduated from Hatboro Hersham High School in 1995, and then his kids, both of his sons, actually went on to attend the school too. That he said, or someone who knew of him said, to be chosen as the crew chief for the All-Star game in his hometown is a tremendous honor, and I couldn't be happier for him. Knowing how respected he is throughout Major League Baseball and seeing firsthand the work he's put in over the years, I can't think of anyone more deserving. Now our sports team was able to grab an interview with someone. I want to let you listen in on what they had to say.
Alan, first of all, you got the assignment, you got the call. What was it like to be able to do all this in your hometown?
It was amazing. Knowing that I had worked the World Series here, that was a little different. Everyone's Phillies fan, so it was a little different. This was a little more neutral. Everyone was just happy that I was going to be on the field, and then that I could work the plate. It's amazing.
How many All-Star games have you done?
This was my second.
So how did it compare?
The first one was a little more of a surprise, just because I was very young. And I didn't really know what to expect. I was just going to go and try and soak it in and not mess up. And tonight I've had a lot more experience, and I've had very big games, which was great. And this was a little more fun.
The reaction from family and friends?
They were very excited. They were probably more excited than I was. I mean, I had a feeling that we would get it here. I hadn't had it in a long time, so I had a feeling that we would work this game. But my family they were just so looking forward to it.
I imagine I would have been so proud to see a family member come out. I mean, we got to see how Kevin McGonigal's family reacted to seeing him in the All-Star game. So also to see someone knowing that they're going to be an umpire and be there in the midst of some of the biggest stars. But then you think about it, and because he's been at some of the best games in Major League Baseball, I mean, he's one of the stars too. So pretty incredible. Congratulations to him for getting the call. I want to know how you guys are thinking. Those of you who are out there streaming with us, I want to hear from you. What was your favorite part about All-Star Week? If you were watching any of the games, if you got out to All-Star Village, let me know what really got you going. I'm going to head to the newsroom and ask my colleagues. We'll be right back. right, you guys, take a live look out at Citizens Bank Park. It's a beautiful night, and yesterday you may have noticed that we had a an all-star game. A lot of people came out to see some of their favorite players, some of their favorite celebrities. It was a really exciting time for anybody who's a fan of baseball, for anybody who wanted to see what it was going to be like to have some of, I guess, their favorites playing. Now, I wanted to come on out to the newsroom and give you guys a look at some of our hardest working producers, anchors, and some of the people on our assignment desk just to chat with them about what was going on, what were some of their highlight moments, and what was special to them. For me, you all know that it was all about the fireworks show. That was so beautiful and special to me, but I want to check in and see what they thought. So, Cam, I always have to come to you first. I know you look real cozy over here. Hi. Quick question. If you got to watch anything that was happening with the All-Star game or All-Star week, what was your favorite moment?
Moment in particular, I feel like Jake and I were discussing Livy Dunn and her shout out to Bryce Harper's
She looked
wife.
so good.
She did look really good, but her shout out to his wife and not like him initially, I think that was such a girl's girl comment for her to make, and she looked gorgeous. Yeah,
she absolutely did. It was wonderful to see Jen Frederick out there on the red carpet as well. She did her thing.
She was working it. Yeah. She was working it.
Thanks for weighing in. Let's check in with some of our other hard-working folks. They're getting ready for the shows tonight, so we're going to try to keep it brief so that, they can stay focused. Let's go on over here. I actually, sir, haven't gotten to talk to you yet in the newsroom. I just wanted to ask real quick. I know you were super into sports, so with anything that was going on with All-Star Week or the game, was there a favorite moment of yours?
I think just seeing Philadelphia come together for both the World Cup and for the All-Star game this year, it was beautiful to see people from not just all over the country, but all over the world coming here and seeing, just giving the world a taste of what Philly sports is like. It was truly a wonderful thing to show off to a global audience.
Absolutely. And I have to say, too, it was really nice to see that there was no fighting. Like, yes, we take sports extremely seriously here in Philadelphia, and yet everybody was able to come together, and it was okay. American League won, National League didn't, but we Philly fans were okay. All right, let's keep walking around, see who we can run into next. You look like you want to chat with us. While you've been producing the news for all things All-Star Week and All-Star Game, have there been any moments that stood out to you, even funny moments?
Well, I was off on Monday and Tuesday when there was really all the excitement. So I wasn't in the building to see all the excitement, but I was out on the streets of Philadelphia to see all the people wearing their jerseys, all things Phillies, and just really showing the pride around the city.
Did you run into anybody who had a crazy costume on, or for the most part, were they just jerseys?
I only saw jerseys. I think I saw someone with like a Philly Fanatic hat, but that was as crazy as it got.
Got you. All right, thanks for weighing in. I am got to check in what time we're at. Okay, we still got a little bit of time to play around with. Hey, I see this conversation over here. I'm going to interrupt real quick. Hey, thank you. I like yours too. This is really cute. I wanted to ask, we've been trying to keep up with all things, the All-Star Game, All-Star Week. Any moments that stood out to you, especially as you've been producing?
Ooh, has I been producing? Mm-hmm. I really like that Sandlot John from last night. That was cool.
We just had our chat with Dawn. Yeah. So even though we couldn't watch it, she described it, and it just sounded so beautiful.
Yeah,
and
I can't wait for her package tonight. That's so cool. I was pulling stuff from the Sandlot movie, and I was watching the trailer, and I was like, dang, I forgot how much I love this movie.
Now you got to watch it again.
Yes, now I got to watch it again, for real.
Thanks for weighing in. One last one. Chris is our executive producer tonight, so he's probably the hardest working one out here. Real quick, any moments that stood out to you? What did you really enjoy about all of this?
Do you want a behind the news moment?
I do.
We're talking about Dawn's story. Dawn literally just sent me a message. My script is ready. Can you take a look at it? So the moment of truth we're about to get when we read the script, and it's all going to come together. But yeah, that was my favorite moment. Those kids, they look so happy.
Absolutely. And we got to see the fireworks too. We actually still may have video of it to show you all.
Oh, can't forget seeing Patti LaBelle. Anytime you see Patti LaBelle in the year 2026 and she's singing the national anthem, that was amazing. Yeah.
And Ray Charles making an appearance. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was incredible. Speaking of Miss Patti LaBelle, we'll get to see her. Well, if anybody goes out to New York, New Jersey Stadium, is she also going to be singing then too?
Oh, I don't know. Good question.
I think she is, you guys. We'll touch back in on what's going on with that particular match, our final match, in just a little bit. Meanwhile, that is the next segment.
Favorite moments of the halftime show.
It's almost like he's a producer. He knows the segues. Okay, you guys, let's take a quick look at Citizens Bank Park once again. Again, it's a beautiful night out here in the city of Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. So much going on. I love getting to come out to the newsroom and talk with all of my colleagues about what's going on. Meanwhile, we're going to get you guys a 2-minute break and then figure out where you want to go next. Remember, we are live on social media, so you can tell me in our comment section what you want to see next. We'll be right back. All right, taking one last look at Citizens Bank Park. Yesterday, it was like a movie out there, and it's so crazy to see that it's so dark out. And what's also interesting to me too, now I have an astigmatism, so sometimes when I see lights and they look kind of glowy like this, I just assume that only I'm looking at it that way. However, keep in mind, we do have that code red alert for air quality here in the city of Philadelphia. That is because Canada's wildfire is coming into our area. So it looks a little foggy to me, but it looks a little foggy to everyone. And it's because there's a lot of smoke and a lot of haze heading to our area. I suggest any of you guys who want to get out and about tomorrow, wear a mask, stay inside, don't have your windows open, use the AC or the fans if you can. And also keep an eye on your family and friends. But while we're talking about Citizens Bank Park, All-Star Game, and All-Star Week, I asked my colleagues what was their favorite part. Let's pose the same question to you all. We have a Go Vote up right now. The Fantastic Sports Show also asked their audience this as well. What was your favorite part of the All-Star break here in Philadelphia? And it looks like by far, 44%, Home Run Derby was it for you all. I want to know how you felt about the outcome. A lot of people thought that Kyle Schwarber was going to take it home. There were some people who thought maybe Bryce Harper would come up from the rear and take him out. And it actually was Jordan Walker. So, you know, a lot of people were excited to see that kind of moment and that kind of representation in the game. We also can see 35% of you guys said the All-Star game itself was the most exciting part, and then 15% of you guys went out to All-Star Village. Maybe you guys are the ones who threw yourselves on that Velcro wall. or like got to try to hit a home run. It was really exciting for anybody getting out and about. And we see 7% to the HBCU Classic, which I actually attended myself. The Swingman Classic was incredible, if I say so myself. It was kind of like being in college again. I got to see the fraternities and the sororities strolling. I got some food. I got to meet up with my best friend and her family, ones who really got me here to Philadelphia. So, you know, for me, it was just exciting to see family and friends and just get together for some of the best events ever. All right, you guys, let's keep the ball rolling with some of our biggest news of the day. A couple of months ago, we got you kind of updated on something that was happening with Market East, possibly getting a big refresh. Mayor Cherelle Parker right here in Philadelphia said that she was really excited to get this project going. It's about a $2 million beautification project that would have some new businesses. It would also allow people to come in and just see some new life being breathed into our city. Now, I heard today she actually held a press conference showing off just how much that revival has been completed so far. Let's take a listen.
Thank you for coming out here to broil with us today in honor of this special street that we're standing on here right now, sweating on this afternoon. We're doing our best to fight that fire that is the heat today with offering water and, better yet, some water ice over there. So please hang in there, y'all. If you don't know me by now, my name is Jesse Lawrence, and it's my privilege to serve as the Director of Planning and Development here in the city of Philadelphia. I'll be brief so we can get to the main attraction here today. Simply put, Mayor Parker's unparalleled leadership is already making a difference that we can see, touch, and feel here on Market East. We are here officially today to open up this storefront that we're standing in front of, My Market East at Meantime on Market. Here on the coolest, maybe not the coolest in temperature, but you know, coolest in terms of vibe, the coolest block in town. My Market East is a space for engaging the public and co-creating the Market East of the future. We at Planning and Development have been dreaming about opening an in-person hub for public engagement on Market East since Market East Revival was just a twinkle in the mayor's eye. We're excited that My Market East offers engagement that can be seen, touched, and felt. My Market East also provides opportunities for personal one-on-one interaction with professional city planners who are staffing the hub and with fellow members of the public who are visiting the hub. It's important to keep in mind, however, that public engagement has been a central component to the Market East Revival from the very beginning. And a few examples of that include dozens and dozens of interactions with stakeholders, multiple focus groups, and 1,000 Philadelphians responding to our online suggestion box. Today, in addition to the hub, we're launching a second online public survey that's going to build on the tremendous amount of research and public engagement that we've had up until this point. That survey can be found on marketeastrevival.com. It's a special website that we're unveiling to provide an enhanced web presence for this very important work that we're doing. Just recently, over a 2-day soft opening last week, the hub already drew in 100 members from the public in over 2 days. That was before there was a scrap of publicity on it. And now today, My Market East is open from 12 to 6, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. We're here till at least July 31st, but stay tuned on marketeastrevival.com for any updates that we can provide to that. And now to express my gratitude to the folks that support this process. Thank you, Mayor Parker. Thank you, Chief of Staff Tiffany Thurman. Thank you, Councilmember Mark Squilla, and each and every member, especially the ones that are here today from the advisory group. If y'all don't know, these are some of the busiest people in the world, yet they're thinking and working nonstop for a better Market East. And finally, for the doers, a heartfelt thanks to everyone, for everyone and everything that they've put into the hard hands-on work for this work in this hub. That includes the creatives at Meantime ISA, our consultant partners at Guidehouse, and in my Department of Planning and Development, those colleagues. Let me just pause for a second. My colleagues at the Department of Planning and Development, specifically Executive Director of City Planning Commission, Octavia Howe, and also her phenomenal staff in her unit, Ian Litwin, Veronica Ayala Flores, Eliza Bauer, Henry Felsman, Emma Sonner, and also my comms team, Bruce Burry specifically. Now, please join me in welcoming my mayor, our mayor, the Honorable Cherelle L. Parker. You got it, man.
Okay. Listen, you all know I'll need my fan, so I'm going to read real fast here. But Jesse, you do know that I want to stop exactly where you were and to tell you that we have been very intentional about the language that we are using as it relates to our discussion about the future of Market East. If you notice, you haven't heard me as mayor of the city talk about reimagining. Reimagining Market East. That hasn't been the language, because I don't know how you all did it, but those photos that you found, historically, so we can take a stroll through our history to remember what Philadelphia's first major commercial quarter, what it has meant to our city's existence. That is why what you hear me describe is the revival of Market East, because when you are trying to revive something, we want us to remember how great we are. And it's with that in mind that I have to say to Joe Cascione, to Dr. Keith Leaphart, Will Carter, and all members of the Jefferson family, thank you so very much for your leadership and having skin in the game here. Yes, give them a round of applause. Prima Gupta, I think that you are one of the most amazing leaders that the Center City District has had. And I love Paul Levy, and he's still our anchor, but you've been holding it down in your own right, and we are grateful for you. Prima. Kelly Yemen, our Director of the Office of Multimodal Planning for the City of Philadelphia. Kelly, is Kelly here? Kelly? Give Kelly a round of applause. And especially in the orange. Brian Phillips, the founder and director of Meantime. I said, where are you, Brian? He's not. Give him a round of applause, please, along with Guidehouse and Greg. But finally, I want to affirm this. The gentleman who, when we had this concept of a revival for Market East in mind, there was no other leader who came to mind who could manage this effort for us. And although he is not present here today, I want to say a special thank you to Jerry Sweeney, president of Brandywine Realty Group. Thank you, Jerry, for leading our efforts. Councilmember Squilla, I don't know of a more assertive, aggressive, I'm being as diplomatic as I possibly can, but you have been an amazing advocate for Market East, and we couldn't be where we are right now. I'm talking about when I think about the work of Jesse, when I think about the work of the entire team, none of it could move without you. And so I want you to give Leadership Matters. Give Councilmember Squilla. Nadir Jones, who a lot of people don't know because he's a little new to the city of Philadelphia, but he oversees business impact and economic advancement. And I know when you look at all of the businesses, particularly the pop-ups that are here, you can tell that this effort was very intentional to ensure that it was representative of all of the business community that we have here in the city. And that water ice, I'm telling you, that water ice is one of the hottest hits on Market Street. So give Nadir a round of applause. Thank you, thank you. Listen, let me ask you something, Philadelphia. What comes to mind when you think about Market Street? Maybe you thought about your morning commute, your favorite place to shop, or maybe meeting friends for an evening night out. I imagine every one of you has your own answer, and for us, that's okay, because every single Philadelphian has their own personal connection to Market Street. It's our city's real main street. For me, my story is going to high school at 1118 Market Street. Parkway Center City High School is working at Dunkin' Donuts right across the street from City Hall. Going to buy actual records, and they said, what size? And I was like, oh, 45s and 33s. And they were like, you're old. But those are some of my recollections of it. And that's why the future of Market East belongs to us all. That means it should be shaped by all of us. And we're not just opening doors. We are inviting the public, the community, to help us determine what comes next. It was 8 months ago, if you all remember, Jesse, when you brought together the Market East Advisory Group, and to be taking this next step by opening up this engagement hub, I'm really excited because Philadelphia, I committed that this won't be another one of those studies. Mike Carroll, I said it was about 20. Mike Carroll said, Madam Mayor, we found probably about 50 different studies, Director Williams and Squilla, about what folks had proposed for what Market East could be, and all of it sat on the shelf and collected dust. But we are committed to ensuring that doesn't happen. So over the next several weeks, everyone Philadelphia is invited to walk through these doors, explore the vision for Market East, share ideas, and help shape the decisions that will guide its future. While I have Councilmember Squilla here, I do want to say this. The people who will walk into this hub to let their voices be known, I want you to know that we don't care whether or not you live nearby, work here, or you own a business here, or you simply pass through. Your perspective matters to us. Philadelphia is a first-class world global destination. If you don't know it now, after everything that we've been able to achieve in 2026, come talk to Councilmember Squilla and I, and we'll show you more evidence. But the first bit, and I want to get it on the record now, because I know I'll get some criticism for it, but it's all right. If you haven't been to the Reading Terminal, Philadelphia, please come down to visit the Reading Terminal. And I want it to be so busy on the inside that you, like me, usually can't find a seat. And to think there's nowhere else that you can go. And then I want you to walk outside and see the new vibe that's been created. I did get some people who said, absolutely not, Mayor, you can't do that. And I said, well, Councilmember Mark Squilla, who manages land use in this area, he and I agree, as well as various departments in the city, and Jefferson is right by our side. And I want to see what we've created, that vibe. There, I want us to make that permanent, so that is the future for Philadelphia. Is that going to be all right, everybody? Yeah. Woo. So I want to say a special thank you to all of you, and I want to say to you, Jesse, Lawrence, and to Octavia, that the work you do is not sexy. Planning and development and you know, zoning and land use, you know, people don't seem to really get excited when they talk about that work. But I want you to know that this work that you are laying the foundation to do now, this is what people will talk about from generations to come, especially if we build on the amazing work that Carl Drenoff and the entire Avenue of the Arts South, that group, and what you see happening, the visual transformation before our very own eyes, the greening of South Broad, making it more walkable and, quite frankly, aesthetically appealing. Imagine if that is the foundation of what we do here on Market East. I'm excited, and I just want to see the work take place.
Okay. So there's the mayor talking about what's going on with Market East. Again, she says that she plans to revive it. I do believe this is a $2 million beautification project. So we'll see what it looks like. We've gotten to hear what should be there, what should be happening, but I want to actually get to experience it. It's so funny, when she mentioned Reading Terminal, everybody in here started talking about it, and they're asking me, have I gotten out there? And I am not ashamed to admit it. I have been to Reading Terminal Market. However, it gives me anxiety. I don't like it yet. I think I need either somebody to come with me and show me, here's this, here's that. This is really good over here. You're definitely going to want to try this. Or Jake said that maybe I need to go with a plan. And so, I don't know, I guess I'll have to go on social media and see what people are saying are the best spots to go to, write it down, and then maybe I'll take a trip out there. So it looks like I got a couple of different things to try and see my way through here in Philadelphia, including, when it's done, Market East. You guys, we are going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I want to get you all caught up. You heard Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche says he wants the job permanently. And there was actually a hearing that a Senate subcommittee had today talking to him. He was grilled. We'll get into it when we come back. All right, welcome back to Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray. I'm getting so many suggestions on places that I need to go to in Reading Terminal Market, and this is exactly what I wanted, you guys. If you have any suggestions as well, either pop them into the live stream chat, find me on social media and DM me, or if you're listening right now, one of my colleagues, stop me in the hallway. In the meantime, let's get everybody caught up on what's happening with Todd Blanche. He's our acting attorney general, but he says he wants the job for good. And President Donald Trump says every congressman should vote in his favor to confirm him for the seat. But I'm not quite sure that he has everybody convinced after today's hearing. It was actually pretty rocky. They really opened fire, like went at him. And some of his answers, I would say a lot of people were excited about, looking forward to, but then some of his answers weren't as good. Now, remember, he took over the Justice Department after Pam Bondi left back in April. He's been a staunch ally of President Donald Trump, who obviously, from what I just said, loves him and wants to see him thrive in this role. He first served, though, as his personal defense attorney, and he talked about that relationship within this hearing. So I want to let you listen in. This is the very beginning of it. We've got about 15 minutes to run through with you all, so take a listen.
Congratulations, Mr. Blanche, on your appointment.
Thank you, Chairman.
These are the ground rules for this meeting. I'll handle this hearing as our committee handled the nominations of Attorneys General Bondi and Garland. I want everyone to be able to watch without obstruction. If people block the view of those behind them or speak out of turn, it's not fair, it's not considerate, so officers will immediately remove that person or persons. I'm going to give my opening remarks, and then Ranking Member Durbin will give his remarks. Then I'll call on Senator Moody to introduce the nominee. Following that introduction, Mr. Blanche will provide his opening statement. And then we'll turn to questions. Each senator will have 10 minutes to ask questions. My standard approach has been that if you got 1 second left as a member of the committee, you can ask your question. But after the question's answered, I'm going to move on to the next member. Mr. Blanche, thank you for being here. As I've said before, this is one of the most important offices in our country. You went through a rough Senate confirmation a little over a year ago, so you know all about it. I appreciate that you cooperated with this committee at every step and fulfilled your responsibilities in good faith while simultaneously running the world's largest law office. The Senate has already judged your fitness for high office and confirmed you as the department's second in command. Today, we consider you for a promotion, and we're not starting out from a blank slate. You have a track record. My Democrat colleagues have relentlessly attacked the department and your and President Trump's leadership. They've called the department, quote unquote, a disgrace and suggested the agency is broken. Their media allies and activist networks have echoed that message. Are these assertions correct? Let's put aside partisan criticism for a moment and address the evidence. The department's primary duty is to enforce our nation's laws and to keep Americans safe. So how is the department stacking up? The answer is, for those who care to judge fairly, it's a record of success. The United States has the lowest murder rate since 1900. The FBI has captured 8 of the top 10 most wanted fugitives. Violent crime arrests by the FBI are up 184%. More than 849 individuals have been disrupted from conducting terrorist attacks. The ATF has seized more than 44,000 illegal firearms. That is not a failure. What about the department's record on illegal drugs? Since January of last year, the DEA has made more than 6,300 fentanyl arrests. It has seized more than 5,000 kilograms of fentanyl powder, 55 million fentanyl pills, 240,000 kilograms of methamphetamine, and 1 2/10 million kilograms of cocaine. The fentanyl alone amounts to more than 428 million fatal seizures. That is not a failure. And what about protecting children? Our committee has fought for years on a bipartisan basis to protect our nation's children from the horrors of exploitation. Ranking Member Durbin and I, in a bipartisan way, are leading landmark legislation, the James T. Woods Act, to tackle that very issue. And once again, our partners at the Justice Department have a record of success. The FBI has arrested 2,900 child predators and human traffickers, a 70% increase from 2024, and located more than 6,940 child victims. The U.S. Marshals have recovered more than 1,182 missing children. That doesn't sound like failure to me. In contrast, the Biden administration diverted prosecutors from child sex crime cases on January 6 cases. That is unbelievable. My Democrat colleagues have criticized the Justice Department for a lack of transparency. I've been critical as well as I am with every administration, whoever occupies the Oval Office, when we don't get that cooperation. No one cares more about oversight than I do. In all my years of congressional oversight, this department has been the most responsive to my requests. That means every Republican or Democrat administration previous to this one, and the numbers back this up. Since January of last year, the department has produced approximately 43,000 pages of records in response to requests from the Senate and the House. To put that in perspective, that's approximately 3 times the number of records produced an equivalent time by the Biden Justice Department. The department has also released more than 3 3/10 million pages of additional records, with more coming every day. Their work is not done, and I expect continued responsiveness and, as well, the very important thing of declassification. But credit should be given where credit is due. A few more successes. They've established the National Fraud Enforcement Division to address more than $5 billion in fraud against American taxpayers. They've reduced the immigration case log by more than 468,000. They've challenged and eliminated racist and unlawful discrimination in government and the private sector. They're exposing and readdressing the Biden-era weaponization of the department against political opponents. They've captured and are prosecuting the dictator Nicolas Maduro for crimes related to narco-terrorism. The list goes on. This department is keeping Americans safe, and the numbers back that up. Mr. Blanche, you should take pride in delivering the law enforcement promise the American people voted for.
All right, you guys, so that's just a little snippet. Hopefully we'll be able to get back into it so you can hear how Todd Blanche actually reacted to this opening statement. But keep in mind that there are some Democrats who don't necessarily want him to keep the role. They say they are not going to vote for him. A lot of them are worried that the situation with the Epstein files will have a repeat if they allow another person to come in who has been backed by President Donald Trump. So as you can all probably remember, when Pam Bondi did have the position, a lot of people said that she was a little too soft on the Trump administration, that she wasn't forthcoming about some of the items that were in the files, and that a lot of Americans were upset with the way that the Department of Justice was handling them. And so when Todd Blanche took over, people were wondering whether or not he would go along with what they say Pam Bondi was doing, or whether he would come out with some other part of this investigation. So far, we haven't seen too much more about the Epstein investigation. If you guys are interested, let me know if you guys want to keep going with that. But Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer from New York, the Democrat, actually spoke out after this Senate hearing. And he said, he had some pretty bold words. If I can quote him, he says he really tried to claim that his administration has been transparent about the Epstein investigation. He goes on to say, transparent? Blanche doesn't get to talk about transparency when he's still withholding 3 million pages of the Epstein files. Stop that transparency talk. Where are the files? And so we also know on the Republican side of things, they're actually very excited to see him continue to take over. We'll have to see whether or not they actually continue to support him after he's in his role. We do know that we'll keep our eyes on this situation, getting you guys the most up-to-date information. That being said, let's get you a live look outside in Philadelphia, because soon we're going to be talking to you guys about our weather forecast. I've been telling you guys over and over again that you got to keep your eyes on the skies, because some of that wildfire air and all that smoke and whatnot has been making its way slowly into Philadelphia. You may have noticed it today because it was a little smoggy, a little hazy outside, but you'll definitely notice it tomorrow. A department here in Pennsylvania has actually already issued a red code alert, trying to make sure people are aware of what's happening here and are making sure that they are keeping themselves safe during all of this. This is because Canada's wildfire air has been making its way down here. Now, the smoking conditions could actually be the worst that we have seen here since 2023. We'll get into all of that and more with our meteorologist when we come back. Welcome back to Philadelphia Live. You're taking a live look at Wildwood, New Jersey. The heat has not stopped anybody from getting out, not the heat nor the air quality. I heard that we actually have had a code red air quality alert here in Pennsylvania due to that wildfire smoke moving its way on in here, but clearly everybody has been excited to get out and enjoy the beach, the boardwalk, all that and more. And I hear our meteorologist, Kathy Orr, might find her way down the shore tomorrow as well. Kathy, I mean, like, get us up to date on this alert, but also what are you going to be doing tomorrow? That sounds exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, Judea. So first, let's talk about the smoke. I just stepped outside in Old City, Philadelphia. I was on Washington Square. You may be familiar with that area, and you could smell the smoke. So this is the wildfire smoke. If you step outside your door and you smell the smoke, open up a window, let Judea know, let me know, because this seems like it's happening now. It will be more concentrated overnight, and tomorrow will be the peak. And this happened 3 years ago, and I remember broadcasting live from the roof of our building at 4th and Market, and the sky was almost like a glow of yellow and orange from the smoke, and you will definitely smell it. It smells like there's a burning building or a fire going on next door. So you can really smell it out there right now in the city of Philadelphia. So South Jersey, let us know. North and west of the city, you should be smelling it in places like Delco, even into Bucks County, definitely Montgomery County, Chester County, even into the Lehigh Valley, because it's all coming down from the northwest, from the Great Lakes. So that is the trajectory. Outside right now, we're looking at temperatures that are still warm. It is balmy and it is uncomfortable. It's 88 degrees. Winds out of the north, northeast, temperatures warm everywhere. Allentown and the Poconos are a little bit cooler just because we had a storm coming through briefly. And then you can see down the shore, still warm. warm. The Atlantic City Marina near 90, and that's the marina. So that's on the water. That is a true temperature. It is not inland. Dew point temperatures are around 70, 71. That is a tropical air mass still over us. And overnight lows are going to be quite warm in the 70s, 78 in Philadelphia. You talked about the air quality. Most reports are coming in good around the city, but it is going down quickly. The air quality forecast due to the smoke is expected to decline through the day tomorrow, and by 1 o'clock you can see that red, and that means over Philadelphia to the south and the east, we're talking about unhealthy levels. Unhealthy for some, where you see that gold color, and that is over our entire area. So you just have to be aware. You step outside, you smell the smoke, you go back inside. Temperatures starting in the 70s, ending in the 90s, so it's heat, it's humidity. And down the shore, yes, we will be at the Seaport Pier on our Fox Weather Philly show at 3:30, and then in Wildwood, North Wildwood, for the rest of our shows tomorrow. And it's going to be a really nice day, but I do think the smoke will be moving down there as well. So we're talking about 80s down the shore. The best chance of storms, Judea, is Saturday. That's where we're going to bust that heat and humidity. So the better day of the weekend is definitely Sunday, but it gets warm again. Typical temperatures this time of year are 88, and those normals have gone up over the past 30 years. And 88 is where we'll be close to Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday we dip into the 80s. The good news in this forecast is after the next 2 days in the 90s, making our 5th heat wave of the year, we'll see those temperatures settle back in the 80s, not the 90s, not the 100s. So this is average for this time of year. July, the hottest month of the year. And by the time this ends, Saturday the 25th, that's Christmas in July, by the way, on Saturday, we're almost done with the month. And then we're moving in to August, which is crazy.
I'm looking forward to seeing what your forecasts look like then. I have to say, I can do the high 80s. I can even do the high 90s. It's when we see triple digit temperature weather. Oh my goodness. See, I don't even want to get it out of my mouth. I don't want to say it.
You can't even say it. It's like blah, 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 blah. And you know, we didn't make it to 100 today because of that wildfire smoke. It kind of keeps a cap on that temperature. No one's complaining about it, but then you just have those hazards because of all the chemicals in the air that clearly is unhealthy. So anybody that suffers from asthma, any type of breathing problems, and then just the general public when it becomes that concentrated. I saw pictures of Upper Michigan earlier today, and it was almost like a blizzard, like a whiteout. It was a smoke out, like visibility was near zero. So that's the type of thing that it's doing up in the Great Lakes. We are not going to be seeing to that degree, but it could be as bad as it was in 2023 temporarily tomorrow. And that was pretty bad. Like, you can smell the smoke out there right now. So I hope that all of your listeners, viewers, TikTokers will let us know where they are smelling that smoke tonight.
Yeah, you guys, please tell me. We actually have a couple of people watching in from different places. Let me know where you guys are watching in from, especially if you are here in the Philadelphia area, maybe even out by New Jersey. If you do smell all of this, let us know. As Kathy said, that'll be very, very helpful to us as we try to help you all. And Kathy, I do remember in 2023, granted, I wasn't here, I was in Atlanta, but my brothers live in New York City. And I remember they were sending our families pictures and videos, and it just kind of looks like they put a filter on the New York City like skyline, but no, that's just how the sky looked. That was crazy.
It was crazy, and especially when you get towards sunset, it almost looked like it was sunset, but it wasn't, because you had those colors. It was like yellow, it was gold, and we're pulling some of that video for tonight on Fox 29 News at 10 o'clock just to go back in time, because I remember those pictures of New York City, and you could see the skyline and what this sky looked like. Judea, I can't believe it was 3 years ago. I thought it was last year. Like, that's how time it goes by so quickly. But yeah, and it's a shame that this happens. But the system, and I want to show you, let me show you this really quick. I'm going to punch it up on my weather system. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to show you this map. This surface map shows, if you look at the flow from the Great Lakes, it's sloping down because that front is to the south of us. And with that front to the south of the Philadelphia area, that is where the wind is coming from. So that is where the smoke is coming from. The Great Lakes, Ontario, Canada. So it's all dropping south to where that cold front is. Does that make sense? Because that Canadian air is just sinking south. And we just happen to be to the north of that frontal boundary.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, especially when you give us the visual like that. You guys, please stay safe. I see somebody is watching from Flint, Michigan. They actually said it smells like toilet water out there, so that's
Yeah.
interesting. We're talking about smoke. They're smelling toilet water. And we actually have a live image from Mackinac,
Mackinac
Michigan as
Island.
well.
Yeah.
Yes, thank
and
you.
This is the bridge. A good friend of mine lives up there, and I'm going to tell you what they sent me tonight about the Mackinac Bridge. That, obviously this is the bridge, and let me find it because we're in real time here. It connects the lower and upper peninsula of Michigan. And they've never seen it this bad. And you can see, I'm calling it a smoke out because I'm from upstate New York, and I know you are too. And we would call it a whiteout in a blizzard condition where you can't even see a mile visibility. Remember, poor visibility, less than a quarter of a mile, would be where you have these severe dense fog conditions or whiteout conditions. That's what you're talking about up there. I don't know what they call it in Michigan. Maybe your listener or viewer can tell us, but to me, I would call it a smoke out because you can't even see. And once again, a lot of people in Michigan, they have lake houses up there. So you might live in Detroit and you're escaping the city. We go down the shore, they go to Mackinac Island, which is this beautiful lake community to the north, and that's the magical bridge that takes you there. And you have summer season and they can't even see on that bridge. So that's what's going on there, and that is the smoke that's slowly making its way toward us.
You guys, while we say goodbye to Kathy, thank you so much for giving us a look at everything that's happening here, telling us what's happening in Michigan as well, especially since we do have viewers on our live stream chat who are out there. But just the imagery that you're seeing of the bridge itself, it was so wild to me. It wasn't until our director, Steve, zoomed in that I could see that bridge had a high point because it is really, truly just lost.
And
in all
Judea,
of the fog.
this just goes to show how the weather upstream to the northwest, and our winds are coming from the north, it impacts us. So it's important to understand what's going on to our west, to our north, what's in the ocean, because depending on the wind, that's where our weather's coming from. And we're not alone in this. This is impacting many people. It's going to be New England, it's going to be New York, it's Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, and of course the Great Lakes as well. So it just gives us an idea how we're all connected.
Yeah, you guys keep our eyes on everything that's going on out there. Let us know, be our eyes and our ears on the ground when it comes to your area. If you smell it, if you see it, please let us know. Take pictures, whatever it may be. Reach out to us on social media, email us. We want to see it. Kathy, again, thank you so much for giving us a forecast and keeping us up to date with the code alert. And it is a red code alert here in Pennsylvania due to the air quality because of the wildfire smoke that's coming down from Canada. You guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. But remember, we were just talking about the Todd Blanche hearing to the Senate. Well, afterward, the Democrats had a lot to say, and so did the Republicans. We'll listen into both sides, how they feel about Todd Blanche potentially keeping his job for the long haul when we come back. Welcome back to Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray. Let's get right back into Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche's hearing in the Senate. Today, he sat down, he was grilled by a ton of different lawmakers, both Republicans and Democrats. Now, afterwards, both sides had a lot to say about his future with the Department of Justice. Let's start with the Democrats. You're going to hear from Senator Chuck Schumer from New York. You're also going to hear from Senator Tim Kaine from Virginia and how they feel about potentially moving forward or not with him.
Trump's supposed deal has collapsed. Our troops are coming under attack. The Strait of Hormuz is a minefield. Gas prices are back up. Democrats voted unanimously against the NDAA yesterday. You saw that, a strong, unanimous vote, because Congress cannot continue business as usual while Trump escalates one of the worst national security blunders in American history. Trump cannot launch a directionless war, defy Congress's bipartisan demands that it ends, refuse to level with the American people about the mission, the cost, or the end game, and then expect Congress to follow quietly. No way. And let me just say another thing. This is not just Trump. All of these things are our Republican colleagues. They are not standing up to him when they know he's wrong. And they are complicit in just about everything that he does. Most Americans expected by now Republicans would stand up. They have not. Well, Democrats are standing up and believe we need a clear strategic plan for the war with Iran, not because we take national security lightly, but because we take it seriously. Trump has refused to provide a clear mission, credible strategy, and accounting of costs. American service members are being placed in greater danger. American families pay more at the pump. We Democrats, a strong national defense. We support our troops. And that's why we're not going along with an unauthorized war that has no strategy. The same Republican refusal to govern responsibly is now putting government funding at risk. Donald Trump is openly threatening a shutdown in September unless Republicans eliminate the filibuster and force it through his radical agenda. He said it himself. Republicans have been trying to say we want a shutdown. We don't. We've been fighting it. But Trump pulled the rug out from under them when Trump said Republicans have to terminate the filibuster or we'll have a shutdown in September. Mr. President, the SAVE Act ain't passing. It ain't passing in the Senate, it ain't passing with Democrats, and it ain't passing in the courts. It's been rejected over and over again. I'd say to Mike Lee, it's not happening. So give up on that and start doing the real work. Well, Trump said the quiet part out loud. He's willing to shut down the government to get his way. Democrats want to fund the government, avoid a shutdown, but that requires bipartisan, serious negotiations, not lopsided partisan spending bills that pour more taxpayer money into Trump's disastrous war by doing nothing to lower costs for working families. Republicans need to abandon their my way or the highway approach and work with Democrats on bipartisan spending bills. If instead Republicans follow Donald Trump towards a shutdown, the responsibility will be theirs. Tim, sorry I couldn't introduce you.
Oh, no. Here, I just popped in right as you started. I think you could hear in the leader's voice when he was talking about the war a lot of emotion, and I got a lot of emotion about it. I came to the Senate in 2013, and I'd been the governor of Virginia with a Virginia Guard that was repeatedly being deployed into Iraq and Afghanistan. And I just had to go to too many funerals and too many homecomings where not all were present and accounted for, and too many wakes. And I just said when I got here, and Chuck, has seen me do this, no matter who the president is, Democrat or Republican, I'm not going to allow war to be waged by this country via shortcuts or end runs around the Constitution. We shouldn't be sending our kids, our best and our brightest, into harm's way without a vote of Congress. And I've taken that same position with Presidents Obama and Biden, President Trump, term one, and now President Trump. We told President Trump before this war started it would be foolish for him to do it. There was no reason for the United States, after 25 years of war in the Middle East, to get dragged back in. But he decided to do it, and no consultation with Congress, no real notification of Congress, certainly no seeking of congressional approval. And if you wage a war without a clear rationale, without a clear plan, without allies, without consultation with Congress, guess what? It's not going to go well, and it's going to be tremendously unpopular with the American public. I think I live in one of the most pro-military states in this country. One of the first 14 casualties, Robert Marzon, a warrant officer, was a Virginian from Spotsylvania County, died within a few months of retiring at age 54. Virginians have paid $1.8 billion at the pump just for more gas than they would have paid had President Trump not started the war. And there's all kinds of other inflation. So whether it's the death of our troops, the injury of our troops, the deaths of innocent civilian school kids who get mistakenly bombed on the opening day of the war, the huge cost to the American taxpayer, the huge cost to American family, it's time for this war to be over. Congress has now done something Congress has never done since the War Powers Resolution has passed. A bipartisan resolution in 2 majority Republican houses have said this war is illegal. Withdraw troops unless you get a congressional authorization. You know what? President Trump can break the law, but he can't change the law. The law is the law. Congress has declared this war is illegal. He's breaking the law by continuing the war. And we need to do everything we can, including in the appropriations and NDA process, to find a path back to a ceasefire that's working, to Straits of Hormuz that were as open as they were on February 27, to gas prices that are back what they were before the president on his own started this foolish war. I want to thank Senator Schumer, the Democratic leader, because, you know, when I came to him and said, hey, look, I not only want to vote, but I'm sort of going to want one every week. And we need to just keep hammering on it. And other great Democratic colleagues, there's sort of 6 of us, Senator Duckworth and Schiff and Murphy and Gallego and I know I'm probably blanking on somebody. I'm sorry to do that. Van Hollen. We've forced this over and over and over again. We had 1 Republican vote, then we had 2, then we had 3, then we had 4, and eventually got the HCON res passed. But we are operating in a very, very unprecedented thing, because Congress has now definitively rebuked this war, and yet the president's doing it anyway. And that not only puts our troops at physical risk, it puts people at legal risk. And with that, thanks.
Thank you, everybody. Sorry to be brief. Yes.
The majority leader has said that the NDAA is not a battleground. They have passed 65 consecutive times on bipartisan votes, and it says by voting against it, you're voting against the troops, and you're voting against national security.
No, the real danger to national security is this war that's out of control. It's this war that has alienated our allies. It's this war that has totally diminished American power and ability to defend ourselves in the world.
Leader Schumer, do you have any concern with members of your caucus stumping with Abdul El-Sayed in Michigan, including Senator Bernie Sanders, who's going there this weekend?
Let me say this. First, Donald Trump is in terrible shape, and the Republicans are in Michigan. His tariffs, his war with Canada in an economy that depends on cross-border transactions has made him look terrible. Second, Democrats have always come up with candidates that fit their states. We will do that in Michigan. We will beat the Republican, and we will take back the Senate.
Yes.
The president is going to give an address tomorrow night. The White House has not been very clear about what it may be about. It could be about what he describes as election security. How concerned are you about efforts the White House may have to intervene in not only the upcoming midterms, but beyond?
Well, we're very worried about the White House. They know they can't win the election fair and square. They know the American people are against them. They know that the American people in the House and Senate are favoring our candidates. So we don't put it past them to try whatever they can, but we are prepared. We are red teaming what they might do and how we can combat it ahead of time. We have united ourselves, the House, the Senate, other governors, to make sure that we can combat these attempts to steal the election.
Leader Schumer, on Jay Clayton.
Yes.
I'm wondering what you make of your reports, CDC
Well, I'm going to wait further to hear her at her hearings and the vote. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, so they wrapped up, but remember the Republicans also have their say. So Senate Majority Leader John Thune also met out in that same hallway and talked to the press about how he felt about how the hearing went. Now, before it started, he said that he felt great, that he thought that it was a no-brainer that Todd Blanche would be voted in to keep his job. Take a listen to what he said afterward.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's been a heavy week here in the United States Senate with the tragic and unexpected passing of Senator Lindsey Graham. Lindsey was a great American patriot. He was a champion for the Republican Party, and for many of us, he was a trusted and loyal friend and advisor. And so we mourn his loss. And we welcome his beloved sister Darlene here to the United States Senate. She will take up his duties and responsibilities as a senator for the state of South Carolina. And I say all this in the context of, I wish we had Lindsey here, because right now we are dealing with an important national security matter, the National Defense Authorization Act, something that Congress has done every year now for the last 65 years. And yesterday we had what was simply a motion to proceed to get on the bill. Actually, it was a cloture motion to proceed to get on the bill. And the Democrats blocked it, every single one. And that, my friends, I believe is really unfortunate. This is an issue that ought to be bipartisan. It's about the national security interest of this country. And the Democrats seem to be dug in and willing to play politics with America's vital national security interests. This is not about funding for Iran. This is something we do on an annual basis, and we have for the last 65 years in a row. So I am hopeful that at some point the Democrats will come to their senses and realize that national security ought to be a priority for them. It certainly is for us, and we will give them more opportunities in which to change that vote and to express their support for even moving forward and having a debate. And by the way, I would add that there were 38 Democrat amendments that were included in the National Defense Authorization Act that we tried to get up on the floor yesterday. So national security is important to this country. Border security is important to this country. The Democrats have a pattern going back now over a year of not wanting to pay air traffic controllers, not wanting to pay border security personnel, and in this particular case, holding hostage the pay increases for our men and women in uniform. That is really unfortunate and unprecedented, and I certainly hope that soon they'll come to their senses.
Tomorrow night, the president is expected to give a primetime address and talk about the elections. Would you encourage him to not say that the 2020 election was stolen?
I don't know what he's going to say. Only thing I can tell you is we are focused on the 2026 election. At least I am, and I think most of my colleagues are.
Leader Thune, are you convinced that Senators Warnock and Ossoff are duly chosen and sworn?
That election was a closed issue back in 2020. The election in 2026 gives us an opportunity to take a run at and to win one of those seats in Georgia. And we're going to do everything we can to do that. And so, as I said before, I'm focused on 2026.
Senator Thune, obviously there's been a lot of questions about Senator McConnell's health, him now being not here for more than a month and not being able to vote. Do you believe that there should be some action taken to deal with members that are out for an extended period of time? Do they need to be more transparent with their health? How should this impact the Senate going forward, particularly because he's been out for so long without a lot of clear questions as to when he might be back?
This isn't the first time that this has happened.
Isn't that a reason to do it, though?
Well, it's happened on both sides of the aisle. Look, Senator McConnell has reported about his health, and I'm hopeful that we're going to have him back here soon. But until that time, we'll defer to him and to his staff to give us updates on how he's doing. I don't know that there's any. I think in the past there have been numerous opportunities. I can think of two immediately on the Democrat side, and one on our side where you had members that were out for extended periods of time. And obviously people have health issues, and there have been some examples of that in the House of Representatives here lately as well.
Leader Thune, what about the reconciliation bill that they've unveiled over in the House, $95 billion, including $60 billion for the Iran war? How are you guys viewing that process over there, and what about your steps, if any, that you guys are taking toward an Iran war settlement?
I guess I would start by saying that, reconciliation, as you know, is very different in the House than it is in the Senate. So we'll see what they're going to try and mark it up in the committee, and we'll see if they can report it, get it across the floor of the House, and what it all contains. The numbers that you were mentioned that have been put out there in terms of what the funding level would be for defense and other things are things that I'm sure our members are going to want to have a lot of input on. I mean, we just had a meeting, as you know, where these issues are starting to get talked about a lot more, and I think the defense number, the ag number, whether or not it's offset, what are the implications over here with respect to the Byrd Rule and the restrictions that we have on how reconciliation is used? Do we have 50 votes for something? I mean, I think those are all valid questions, and those questions will be answered in due time. I've said all along, as you know, that it's an option, but it's not certainly the only option, and it all, in the end, comes down to whether you have the math, whether you can get 50 votes to pass it in the end, and whether you've got 50 votes to defeat any poison pill amendments that might be offered. And so those are all questions that will have to be answered in due time.
Leader Thune, Senators Mike Lee and Rick Scott are both calling on the Senate to stay in session and bypass any recesses or weekends to get the Save America Act across the finish line. Is that something that you're open to and would support?
Well, if I thought there was a path to getting a positive result or a positive outcome, I'd be willing to do just about anything, because I think we are all here in favor of the Save America Act. The folks that have consistently block voted against it are all the Democrats in the United States Senate. And I think that's unlikely to change. And it's also very unlikely that the Senate Republicans are going to vote to get rid of the legislative filibuster. So we've had 5 votes on it. We have voted on the entire Save America Act. We have voted on photo ID as a separate issue. We have voted on photo ID and registration, or citizenship to register. We've had that amendment. We've had a vote on boys competing in girls sports. We've had 5 now votes on the Save America Act or individual components of it, and none of which got a single Democrat. To me, the issue here is the Democrats, and we ought to be going after them for opposing something that's popular across this country, not just with Republicans, but with Democrats as well.
Mr. Leader, follow to Chad's question. Do you, without a guess, if you do believe the senators from Georgia are duly sworn and certified? And then a second question about ICE. Several members of your conference, probably many of them, I believe, have reached out to now Secretary Mullen, asking him to put a pause on the traffic stops after the deaths we've seen in the last week. That happened, and now the president, as of his right, has reversed it. Do you believe that those traffic stops should continue? Are Americans safe right now under ICE?
Well, I think they're safe if they're here legally. ICE has a job to do. ICE agents have. ICE agents have a job to do, and so obviously we defer to Secretary Mullen and to his team there about the best way to do that job. But we're very interested in ensuring that this country, that we have safe and secure streets. As to your first question, I think that if you go back, states certify elections, and that's what every state does under our system, and the states certified those elections. So like I said before, I'm not looking back into the past, I'm looking to the future. We have a Senate race in Georgia this year in 2026, and I'm hoping we're going to be able to pick up a seat there. Thank you all.
All right, so that was the end of his remarks there. Now, I want to bring you on out to the White House just to give you guys a quick reminder for some, but an announcement for others. Tomorrow night at 9 p.m., President Donald Trump is going to have a pretty rare address to the nation. So again, it's going to be a prime time, 9 p.m. You will be able to watch it right here on this live stream platform. It's not quite clear exactly what he's going to talk about. Normally he doesn't give us his talking points ahead of time, or at least not this early. What would you guys want to hear him discuss? If I had to put a bet on things of what I think he'll probably talk about, I have a feeling one of the last things that John Thune just mentioned, this reversal on the Department of Homeland Security policy that would at first, it would have made it so ICE agents wouldn't be able to do those vehicle stops. That only went on for about a day, and then President Donald Trump actually put out on Truth Social, his social media platform, that he thinks ICE should stand strong, and he wants those types of stops to continue. So I have a feeling he'll talk about that. He may also talk about the Save America Act, the SAVE Act. He may also end up talking about the economy, may even bring up the war with Iran and how close he thinks we are to finishing it. Again, what would you guys want to hear him talk about this address? We may be able to read more about him and what you guys are thinking in our live stream chat. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then I'll bring out Jake for a couple of our trending stories. Hey guys, welcome back to Philadelphia Live. I'm of course Judea Murray, and this is of course Jake Leonard from our digital team. Hey. Okay, what's going on out there? What are people clicking on, scrolling through, reading?
Okay, so you know I love reality TV.
I know.
And the only thing I love more than a reality TV show is a reality TV show that is under the Fox Entertainment family. So it'll be airing on Fox 29.
What show are we talking about?
Okay, so Special Forces World's Toughest Test. So I don't know if you've heard of this one, but basically the concept is they take a bunch of like reality TV stars or like old actors or whatever and like send them into the middle of nowhere. They're in like a rainforest and they basically have to compete in like military style training challenges.
Oh my goodness.
So
is this like that Mars show that I saw a couple of years?
Like
same kind of concept, but not the same show.
Yeah, same kind of concept. Like I feel
listening.
like this is a concept that like multiple different channels, multiple different programs have like attempted, but this is a really good take on it. It's super
got it right.
Yes, it's super entertaining because it's like it's actually really intense. Like the things that they have them doing, it's like, whoa. Like they're
Could you be on the show?
No.
Okay.
No, I could not.
Okay.
So basically, so today they announced the cast for season 5. Okay, it's premiering in September. I believe the exact date is September 24th. Again, it'll be airing here on all of our Fox channels. And so I just want to read off some of the names. Okay, so first off, like current reality star, we have Brie from Selling Sunset. We have Ruby Rose, the actress. Yes. Candace Cameron Bure. obviously from Full House, and then we have a couple people who have Housewives
Wait,
connections.
DJ?
Yes. Yes.
I only know her as DJ.
Yes. So we have Mauricio, who is Kyle Richards' husband. They're separated, but they're still legally married. And then Alexia, who is their daughter. I guess Kyle didn't want to join. But from the Real Housewives, we do have Brandi Glanville.
Okay.
So yes, that'll be really interesting. But the one that everyone is talking about the most, ready? George Santos. Yes.
Do you think he's going to do well?
No. I mean, he might surprise me, but a lot of people are like, we had a huge conversation about this earlier, and we're like, this cast is great because it's a lot of people who are, you know, like controversial figures and who might not do well in this type of setting. So I'm excited. Like,
they put these
we'll be
people in a
tuning in.
rainforest, and what do they have to survive?
Yeah, like basically, it's like kind of like they were training to go into the military. Like, I mean, like I've seen like challenges before where they've like basically like been in a car underwater and like had to like get out, and they had to like basically like, crawl
do you need a
through
sign
like
to do
trenches.
something like this?
I don't know, but it's entertaining, and I guess we'll see.
I'm kind of excited for this too.
Yes.
You have sold it really well, actually.
No, yeah,
So
I'm
okay,
excited.
Fox, we'll definitely have to watch it there. You guys, let me know if this is something that you
Yes.
want to watch too. Jake,